but they are making their way back up the tunnel now. All smiles and waving to the crowd as well. Wonderful to see. Wyatt Raymond is wearing all yellow. In charge, Dave Munro, Damien Brady are the touch judges, and Adam G is in the bunker as we underway, and Simi Layafi takes the first hit up off the back fence at the Newcastle Showground end of Hunter Stadium. The trotting track end behind Manly, and Newcastle defending the southern end, the hockey stadium end here at Hunter Stadium. The Sea Eagles have it 20 away from their own goal line as Olakau'atu gets up and plays the ball. They come short right-hand side. Ruben Garrick is met by 4 or 5 Newcastle players. Frizzell involved, so too Fletcher Sharp. He's brought to ground 10 away from the western touchline, 30 away from his goal line. They're spinning it left now in a first test for that hamstring of Tom Trbojevic. He takes the tackle 33 away from his own line, and he plays the ball as they come one off the ruck right-hand side for Nathan Brown to take it up to within 8 metres of the halfway line. Starting for the first time this season, Nathan Brown. Game 1 to 199 for Nathan Brown. The kick goes up from Fogarty. It's taken by Kalen Ponga, and then he sends Dom Young into a wall of Manly players, including Ben and Jake Trbojevic. He plays the ball 22 away from his own line, and then one off the ruck left-hand side they go for Marju. 25 away in centre field from his own goal line. Newcastle getting 6 again as well. So another full set here. They can start at 31 away from their own goal line. Bradman Best gets up and plays the ball 15 in from the western touchline. Good contact there on Tyson Frizzell. He takes the contact and a couple of post-contact metres before playing the ball 9 short of halfway. Right-hand side they go. Gets through the hands of Croker, Ponga. On it goes to Fletcher Hunt, and now finally Dom Young is 9 metres inside the eastern touchline. Manly maybe hanging on a little too long there. Tolu Kola had to get off a little quicker than he did, but just in time not to give away another set restart. Croker's caught with the ball 2 inside Manly's territory, and Crossland out of dummy half comes to the left now. Ponga gets it through the hands to Sharp. Now Best, some space here, but it's closed down pretty quickly by Ruben Garrick, and on the last, Best plays it 30 away from Manly's line. First receiver, Fletcher Sharp, puts the high kick up in the air. Turbo comes forward, takes it, and then it's a strong tackle, allowing Tom Trbojevic to play the ball 7 away from his own goal line. Just over 2 gone, no score, Newcastle Manly.
Yeah, so no mucking around with the collision early in this game as we see Manly shift the ball to their left-hand side again. What I would say is Tom Trbojevic, you can just see he's just a little cautious in really hitting the nos.
Now the one-handed offload from Lehigh Hopewadi sends Fa'alolo through the backfield. He's passed Ponga one-on-one. Geez, not many players burn Kalen Ponga like that. And Fa'alolo races away and scores the try. 2.5 minutes gone. Manly have done a Newcastle to Newcastle. That's something you expect to see the Knights do in their own half. What about the one-handed carry and flick pass from Lehigh Hopewadi? And Fa'alolo, the way he burns Kalen Ponga, incredible. Manly 4, Newcastle 0. It's a mile forward, the flick pass, by the way. But it doesn't matter because they can't bring it back. Kick to come with 3 gone.
Yeah, but what I would say, I talked about the collision, and definitely Newcastle, this can happen with teams that know they're in the semis. They haven't come out with full intent, and Hopewadi definitely took advantage of it. But yeah, it was a nice pass. It was like a quarterback to a running back.
It certainly was. It was downtown Bridge. That pass was pretty much right in front of you. I was screaming at the touch judge.
Yeah, the fans here not happy, the home fans, with that one. But hey, well, that one's been awarded. A really strong start from Manly, and you know, Matt, you said Turbo not hitting the nos, but the rest of the players on the Manly side definitely are. It would be good to see though him get into it a little bit. You can see that he is directing play around the back, but great to see him back out there.
Yeah, Clayton Fa'alolo has played at fullback. He's played at centre, and he's got a try early on at 5'8", although that was more like a fullback running straight through the middle there from Clayton Fa'alolo. So the Sea Eagles leading 4 points to 0 with 4 minutes gone.
The extension of that is that was straight through the middle of the ruck, though. But
yeah.
Look, the pass, you know, it didn't need to be for it. It was poorly executed, but that was straight through the middle of the ruck of the Knights.
Fogarty 8 metres in from the eastern touchline, 22 out. He steadies himself with Newcastle fans putting him off behind him. He moves in and hits this one beautifully. The touch judges barely move. The flags go up. Manly 6, leading Newcastle 0 around the grounds in New South Wales Cup. Second half, Warriors leading South Sydney 26 points to 12. In Jersey Flegg, it is Parramatta Parramatta leading the Raiders. In fact, that's full time, 30 points to 20. Parramatta defeating Canberra. First half Queensland Women's Premiership, the Tigers leading the Bears 8-0. That's Brisbane Tigers versus Burleigh Bears. In AFL third quarter, Carlton leading Fremantle 79-56. And it's T in the cricket, Australia winning the toss and bowling first, dismissing Bangladesh for just 64. Australia 3 for 49 in their first innings. AFL Women's second quarter, Western Bulldogs leading Richmond 33-17 and Gold Coast leading West Coast 27. 0467 920 222 if you want to get in touch as well on NRL Saturday here on ABC Sport with Bridget Murphy, Matthew Elliott. I'm Glenn Lauder as Manly have the ball after scoring the first try of the afternoon. Olakau'atu plays at 25 away from his line. They go to the left-hand side, spreading it again as they have done a few times so far, and Ben Trebojevic will play it 15 short of the halfway line where they come back open side right. Goes through the hands of Fogarty. Long ball over the top to Ruben Garrick. They're trying to isolate Greg Marju here, but Bradman Best comes across and helps out, and they bring Garrick down 5 metres inside Newcastle territory. Playing the ball, one off the ruck, left-hand side, Olakau'atu. He takes it up towards the 30-metre line. The wrecking ball, right edge back rower for Manly, slow to get up, and it was more his fault than Newcastle's. Final play, they go to the left-hand side. Faulolo puts a big spiralling kick up. Decent-looking kick. It's taken comfortably by Ponga. You wouldn't expect anything less, and he's tackled 5 away from his own goal line. Manly 6, Newcastle 0, 5 at a half time.
Well, we talked about the inadequacies of the Manly middles in attack. So what they've done is they've recognised that. They're just shifting the ball all the time and testing the Knights' edge defence, and they're having a lot of success with it early, Glenn.
Yeah, Fletcher Hunt has taken now 17 metres away. It is interesting, isn't it, the way that Manly are attacking these edges of Newcastle. And when you look at Manly coming back through Tom Trebojevic, well, Bradman Best is only coming back with injury as well. This time Newcastle spread it wide and they can't come up with it. Fletcher Hunt throws it to Dom Young. It goes forward off the big Englishman, and they haven't executed as well as they'd like to there, Newcastle. The error 10 short of the halfway line. Manly will get the scrum feed about 10 inside Newcastle territory. They lead 6 points to 0, the Sea Eagles, after 6 minutes. Touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Yeah, it was an absolute rib rattler of a tackle on Fletcher Hunt there, and he lost the ball to go forward to Dominic Young, who then touched it. So unfortunate mistake there from the Newcastle Knights when they seem to have a little bit of momentum out the back of that set.
Thank you, Dion. I hate Manly from 1978 since they raided West, says this text message. Thank you to David in Rutherford as well. Newcastle are well coached too, says this text to you. Indeed, he's done a great job, Justin Holbrook, this year. Manly win the scrum. They go to the right-hand side. They play it 37 away from Newcastle's line. Once again, they spread it. Here's Ruben Garrick on the right-hand side. And Garrick takes the tackle 20 away from Newcastle's line. 8 in from the western touchline. Saar waiting at dummy half. Left-hand side, Fogarty through their hands. It goes on now, and they can continue to keep it alive. Nathan Brown. Finally, Faulolo takes the tackle. 20 away from Newcastle's line. Getting up and playing the ball in the centre of the pass slowly is Faulolo. He's saying that there might have been some contact. Is he grabbing his arm there, Faulolo? He's going to get up now. He was hoping for the high shot, but it wasn't forthcoming. 12 away from the line, centre field. Manly play it through Brown. Wakeham dummy half, right-hand side, Fogarty. Here's Tom Trebojevic to Jason Saab, and Jason Saab sees the defence close quickly on him. He takes the tackle 5 away from Newcastle's line. Final play for Manly. They lead 6-0. Here's Fogarty kicking across field from right to left. Chasers are coming through, but it's taken well by Fletcher Hunt, just inside the field of play. And then he's pushed into the in goal. He can't do much about it because as he came down, there were Manly players everywhere ready to swarm on him and force the goal line dropout. So Newcastle will have to do it again from their own end. They're trailing 6 points to 0 after 8 minutes, Matthew.
I want to reinforce one point that I've made there. This is a great take, by the way. But I haven't got one hit from Newcastle. They're just not quite present today. They've come out expecting to win like we expected them to.
I've only seen it a few times the last few weeks. Now, Dom Young has been taken out here without the ball, and Newcastle are going to get a penalty. They're also saying that a Manly player might have been in an offside position as the ball was knocked forward by Manly, but I thought the penalty could have gone to Dom Young anyway for being taken out. So it is because Manly have dropped the ball in the contest, and then there's the accidental offside in front. So I reckon Tom Malu Kola has whacked Dom Young off the ball, but it's Faololo who loses it forward, and Waken picks it up in front of him. Now we're going to have an HIA here. This is Faololo. This is for the high shot that Faololo wanted on Jermaine McEwen. They showed a replay, and Jermaine McEwen comes over the top, and I think there might have been a bit of contact there. Manly didn't get the penalty, and now they lose their 5'8", with Jake Simpkin coming onto the field, Matthew.
Yeah, and you've got to be cautious when you do go down, but you're right. If they looked at, that is fair contact to the head, so I'm surprised he's not been put on report, to be honest.
Touchline, Bridget Murphy.
In that contact on Clayton Faololo, he immediately, when he got up from that tackle, he was very spacey on the leg, and he's got quite a heavy bleeding nose at the moment, so I'll get the latest from the HIA officials in a moment.
Well, I guess Manly will be hoping that it is just a bloody nose or a broken nose and not something that'll keep him out for the rest of the 80 minutes, because we spoke about it in the pre-game. No Luke Brooks, no Joey Walsh, and their third choice 5'8" has gone off after 8.5 minutes here, with Manly leading 6 points to 0, and it was that man who scored the try. Here's Kalen Ponga trying to isolate Manly's right edge defence. He takes the tackle 10 inside the Sea Eagles territory. They play the ball 5 in from the western touchline and come open side right, changing direction on a strong run, and then taking the tackle 13 inside Manly's territory is Hopwood. Right hand side, Smith takes it to the line, gets it away to Sharp. Numbers here. Fletcher Hunt dummies and goes through. Oh, that is a beautiful sell from Fletcher Hunt. He could sell ice to Eskimos with that dummy. He goes through the gap and he scores 8 metres in from the eastern touchline. He had Dom Young on his outside, and the way that he throws that ball, every Manly player went straight to Dom Young, and Fletcher Hunt said thanks very much. 6 points to 4. Manly lead Newcastle. Kick to come and just under 10 gone.
Yeah, Sandon Smith's probably with the origin of that. He really digs into the line, does a really good job, and wow. You just got to put that down to pure speed. He saw the space. It was a well-executed play to get him there, but it was nothing flash. And Tommy Torovic come across and over-adjusted because they were short on their left-hand side. And yeah, see you later. Straight over the try line, untouched.
Lehigh Hopewadi's going home with a used car after coming into Fletcher Hunt there, the way he was sold. Touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Well, it's incredible to think that Fletcher Hunt is starting today because Dane Gagai is not available. You think of what he can do and what we see out here. To think that he wouldn't be starting is wild, but what an incredible young player. Did just hear, though, from HIA officials, it is a Category 2 head knock and assessment for Clayton Faololo from the Manly Sea Eagles.
Yeah, good news then for the Sea Eagles. Hopefully he'll be back in 15 minutes' time. And 0467920222. Go Knights listening in Mossvale after working at the game here where Albion Park defeated Southern Highlands 46-0. Thank you, Luke, for your text message. Stephen from Engadine, thank you for your text. Thank you, Sam, as well. Mad Dog, you explained NOS to the non-redheads, Matthew.
NOS to the non-redheads.
I don't know why it's redheads that don't know. Touchline, Sandon Smith adds the extras.
It's nitrous oxide. And that's, what... I was a drag race driver, and we won't go into that because I used to drive really fast in cars with wheels.
Just in a straight line.
And all that sort of stuff.
Straight line.
With big engines.
Yes.
I know a lot about cars. I know a real lot about cars.
Thank you for your text message. Matty, yes, you were a coach and a school teacher. Something jogged my memory with you. You were on the ABC back then. No, Matthew, you weren't doing radio while you were coaching and teaching, surely?
No.
Yes. Thank you for your text message, though. I appreciate it. 0467920222. We are back underway. Newcastle are back level, 6 points apiece. Great kick from Sandon Smith. And now Newcastle play the ball through Trey Mooney about 12 away from the line. They go one off the right-hand side. Marju has it 20 centre field. Oh, was he hobbling as he got up and played the ball there, Marju? Good space out the back right-hand side. They've thrown a Ponga in open space. He's got Tom Trbojevic in front of him. He's got Young to the right of him. Young has to cut back in field. Manly's chase is a good one. Their defence recovers somehow. And Tom Young's brought to ground 10 away from Manly's line. But the Sea Eagles have to resettle here defensively. That's not a great pass across the field. Newcastle lose a bit of momentum. Bradman Best picks it up. This might just allow Manly to get their goal line defence set. And now Best loses the ball as he gets up to play, but there was a hand in there. Nathan Brown's hand was in there. He's blowing up. Wyatt Raymond's blown the penalty, and Newcastle 10 away from Manly's goal line. We'll have a full set here. 12 minutes gone, 6 all. Manly might challenge this one.
on-field ruling is hand in ruck interference. They believe they don't.
Say you, Matthew.
Well, I believe they do, and Brandon Wakeham, defending on that left-hand side as a half, has been exploited massively in the last 2 minutes and allows that try.
I mean, at the very least, Nathan Brown is probably hanging on too long. The hand goes on the ball there, doesn't it? Oh, no, he's just trying to get up and play the ball. I think that might be a loose carry from Bradman Best. Manly might have a case here. Bridget Murphy.
A front rower wins a challenge.
Winning a challenge.
The tackle is complete. Nathan Hand's left hand comes across the ball, post the tackle. This causes ruck interference.
So
the challenge is unsuccessful.
Challenge is unsuccessful. There's not much in that, Ridge. Touchline.
Yeah, that was razor thin. I actually thought that should have gone against the Knights and, that be reversed. So the Knights, I think, very lucky to have this opportunity so close to their try line.
Manly without a challenge now for the next, almost 70 minutes of this game. 68 minutes still to go and no challenge. And that one was really close. Newcastle 7 away from the line. Crossland dummy half, right-hand side sharp. Smith dummies, gets it away to Ponga. Ponga bounces away, but he can't get past Brandon Wakeham, who comes across over the top and brings Ponga to ground 10 away from the goal line. Ponga's slow to get to his feet as well. Newcastle fans will be worried, but he's okay now. Sanders Smith, left-hand side. Hopwood gets whacked by Layapi, 10 away from the goal line, centre field. Good tackle by the Manly front rower. Left-hand side, Sanders Smith. It goes behind Fletcher Sharp, and then he's hit in a really strong tackle by Jason Saab. Sharp gets up and plays the ball for Smith. They go right-hand side for Crossland. On it goes to Trey Mooney. He tries to find a way through, but he's tackled. 8 away from the goal line, centre field. Final play, Newcastle. Crossland comes right out of dummy half for Sanders Smith. Takes it to the line. Quick hands from Ponga to Young. Back to Ponga, and Ponga spills it over the line. Manly will pick it up in the in goal, and it's going to be a Manly changeover, 10 away from the line. Oh, Newcastle was so close to a second try there. Good link-up play between Ponga and Young, back to Ponga, but perhaps their hands were a little too quick for their own good, Matthew.
Yeah, they were a little bit. Yeah, Carlin Ponga couldn't quite regain it, but I tell you what, that Manly left-hand defensive unit is leaking like a sieve.
So Clayton Failolo, of course, that 15 minutes for the Cat 2 HIA. Just looking down on the bench there, I can't see him at the moment, so we'll wait and see how he goes when he comes back out of the tunnel. But Manly have the ball 30 away from their own goal line. They come to the right for Hamole Olakawatu to take it up to within 9 of the halfway line. Only about 4 in from the western touchline. Fogarty dummy half. Left-hand side, Jason Saab, strong run, 1 off the ruck. Takes the tackle on halfway. 15 in from the western touchline, final play. Simkin dummy half. Now Fogarty's turn to put a high spiralling kick up to Dom Young. He takes it sort of with a little bit of a fumble, but he regathers comfortably enough and then takes the tackle 35 away from his own goal line. The Knights fans getting behind their team here. Fletcher Hunt gets whacked in a strong tackle. Manly really is muscling up in defence. When they make tackles, they're strong ones. As Newcastle come 1 off the ruck, left-hand side, and Jermaine McEwen takes the tackle 2 inside Manly territory. The Knights, you'd have to say, winning the arm wrestle at the moment. It's 6-all, 15 gone, and the Knights coming left inside Manly's territory through Ponga to Best. Here's Bradman Best, and he goes towards the touchline, so he has to get the pass back in. It bounces straight into Ponga's arms. Ponga's still going, and Ponga's brought to ground now finally by Nathan Brown, 20 away from the line. Here's Crossland, left-hand side, Sharp puts a little grabber in. Tom Trbojevic was hoping it'd go dead. Marju dives underneath the Manly captain and fullback, gets his hand on it for his 22nd try of the season, equals his career best for a season. Greg Marju and Newcastle lead 10 points to 6 with a kick to come. 15 minutes to go. Tom Trbojevic just perhaps a little too slow to deal with that one, Matthew.
Well, they go down the short side, and Tom's heading the open there, and again, what a really well-balanced kick there. I thought it was going too long there off Fletcher Sharp's foot, but Marju's chase was just perfect. And Tom probably could have got his foot out there, thought he escorted over the try line. Does he get it down, Glenn?
Yeah, that's going to be the question, isn't it? The grounding. On live, I thought it was okay, and Turbo, I think, just had to make up a bit too much ground. Yeah, that's a grounding. That's a TRY. And Tom Trbojevic, I think, was like you, thinking, oh, off the boot. That looks like it's going over the dead ball line. But set up beautifully, Bridget Murphy, the Knights lead.
Yes, absolutely. And it's fantastic to see the partnership of Greg Marzio and Bradman Best back together on the left edge for the Newcastle Knights. Of course, Bradman out for a little while with injury, back today. Great to see him back in the red and blue.
Sorry, Matthew, you were going to say?
Does that horse, does that have a message from the bunker straight away? Does the bunker go try confirm and the horse just comes flying out?
It brings out a notepad.
A notepad?
Yeah.
What's that?
To answer your question, Matthew, nay, it doesn't.
And that's good afternoon from me.
That's why I'm not in comedy. Sandon Smith is almost a metre inside the western touchline. Bridget Murphy doing her best Johnny Gibbs / whispering Ted Lowe impersonation, so we don't put Sandon Smith off from the kick. Moves in and hits this one, and it doesn't make the distance. So left-hand side, Sandon Smith is 1 from 2, and Manly are trailing now 10 points to 6 around the grounds in the NRLW. The Raiders leading the Bulldogs 6 points to 0. New South Wales Cup first half, North Sydney leading Newtown 8 points to 6. In New South Wales Women's Premiership, Penrith leading Illawarra 10-0. Queensland Women's Premiership, Brisbane Tigers leading Burleigh Bears 12-6. Northern Pride leading Central Queensland Capras 8-0. And the Devils and the Jets just getting underway 0-0 in that game. Third quarter AFL, Carlton 80 leading Fremantle 64. AFLW second quarter, Western Bulldogs leading Richmond 34-17, and Gold Coast leading West Coast 47-9. Third session in the cricket this afternoon, Australia 3 for 54 after dismissing Bangladesh for just 64. Newcastle had the ball 20 away from their own goal line through Bradman Best, advances it to the 30, and he'll play the ball. I beg your pardon, that's Trey Mooney getting up and playing the ball. And now Crossland, one off the ruck, right-hand side. Newcastle all of a sudden only 10 short of the halfway line after scoring their second try of the afternoon. Getting up and playing it is the try scorer Marju, one off the ruck, right-hand side for the final play. 4 short of halfway, Hopwood plays it. Dummy half Crossland, right-hand side Sandon Smith. He got heavy contact as he was getting the kick away, but Wyatt Raymond's happy that it was incidental and at about the same time as he got the kick away as well. So all good there, and Tom Trebojevic will play it 20 away from the line. One off the ruck, left-hand side they go for Hopewadi. He's 25 away from the line and 15 in from the eastern touchline as Manly through Kohler. A good strong run from Tolu Kohler there to within 14 of halfway centre field. Simkin, dummy half. Here's Nathan Brown going on a strong carry. He's 5 short of the halfway line in centre field. Simkin coming left out of dummy half, a few steps, and then sees Ben Trebojevic over his left shoulder. So Ben takes it to the 40-metre line. He's 10 inside Newcastle territory. Manly trailing 10 points to 6. It's the final play, so Fogarty goes to the skies. Ponga is coming across in the bright Saturday afternoon sunshine. He's taken about 3 out from his own goal line and then return it towards Olakawatu, where he's brought to ground 11 away from his own line in centre field. Newcastle 10, Manly 6, 18 gone.
Yeah, another really good yardage set there by Manly. So in attack, they're looking quite dangerous, and they've got so much speed. If they get some second flares, they're certainly going to test this Newcastle team, but defensively, they're having a lot of trouble on their edges against Newcastle.
Thank you, Dwayne and the boys on the riverbank at Louth. Loving the call. Appreciate that. 0467 920 222. Sandon Smith goes right. Gets to Ponga, on it goes to Dom Young. Was Ponga taken after he passed? He was. I thought it might have been, and Wyatt Raymond agrees. Ponga got the pass away to Dom Young, and then he took a really heavy contact and went to ground. It was Lehigh Hopewadi who gives the penalty away, and Newcastle will be able to find touch from 30 out from their own goal line, and they lead 10 points to 6 with 18 and a half gone.
Yeah, an unnecessary penalty there from Hopewadi, but what we have seen with Dom Young and the combination with Kalen Ponga does follow him up the inside quite a fair bit, and he had the pass available as well.
So they find touch right on the halfway line here, the Newcastle Knights, and they'll be able to try to add more pressure here as Caleb Navarre looks like he's getting ready to come on for the Manly side. At ACL in February in pre-season, hasn't played at all in 2026, so wonderful to see him making his way back into the NRL after such a serious injury. Now Tyson Frizzell bounces off a couple of Manly defenders, and he goes back into the infield. He takes the tackle finally, wins 6 again for his side, 30 away from the line. So Manly are their own worst enemies at the moment. A penalty and then a 6 again has Newcastle only 10 metres away from Manly's line. Getting up and playing it is Mooney, 20 in from the western touchline. Smith's at first receiver, goes right for Sharp. On it goes Smiles, Ponga and Hunt, they've got numbers. Surely, that's good tackle there over on the far side by Kohler, and gets up and plays the ball sharp. Hunt only about a metre in from the eastern touchline. Bit of a wasted play there as they try to go out a dummy half, but tackled exactly where he was previously was Jermaine McEwen. Now they come left. Here's crossing. Oh, Ponga loses it cold. He had Fogarty coming up on him quickly, but Ponga just had a little bit of a look at the line and he loses the ball. That's not something you expect from Kalen Ponga, and Manly get the scrum feed. 17 away from their own goal line, trailing 10 points to 6 with a quarter of the game gone, Matthew.
Yeah, Kalen Ponga overplayed his hand there. They certainly had a great shape there out on their left-hand side. He knew if he got that pass away, there would have been some real space and opportunity there, but he needed to take the hit then.
Wiener Mike, thanks for the pro Newcastle call. Laugh at a head knock and bloody nose and him playing for a penalty and he's off the field. Please lift your game. Well, we were saying you should have had a penalty. I don't know what you're... Sorry, Wiener, if there was any confusion there. We were saying that Clayton Fa'alolo should have got a penalty and that he is off the field. And hopefully for Manly it is only a blood nose and he can come back onto the field. Bridget Murphy has elocuted that it is a cat too, so he has a big chance of coming back. As Caleb Navale, thanks for your text message, 0467920222. Navale is on the field for the first time in 2026. Here's Ben Trebojevic, one-handed offload to Simpkin, gets it away to Wakeham, dummies goes himself, and he gets a couple of post-contact metres almost to the halfway line where he'll play the ball for Jake Trebojevic. One off the ruck, right-hand side, Nathan Brown, and here he is. So Clayton Fa'alolo, Bridget Murphy touchline.
Yes, just subbed on. He's been cleared of that head injury assessment, so he's back out there for the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles.
Thanks, Bridge. He's got the ball now, and he'll take the tackle 37 away from Newcastle's line on the final play. 18:40 to go first half, and you wonder if Manly's shape, both defensively and attacking, will improve with Fa'alolo back out on the field. There's the kick from halfback Fogarty. It's taken by Saab, pass to Garrick, and then another little grubber through because he was running out of space on the touchline. Tom Trebojevic was flying through, but the dead ball line beat everybody. In fact, no, Kalen Ponga made a play to put it over the dead ball line, and this will be a goal line dropout. That's a really good catch from Jason Saab to keep it alive, and then Garrick's little grubber under heavy pressure for Kalen Ponga and Bradman Best to have to clean up, and Manly have forced Newcastle into a dropout here, Matthew.
Yeah, perfectly weighted kick there from Ruben Garrick, and Newcastle goes short on the dropout.
Yeah, they go to their right, Manly's left, and the Sea Eagles do end up with the ball only about 15, 16 metres away from Newcastle's line. 5 in from the eastern touchline. Hopewadi plays it. They come open side right. Fa'alolo looking for options. He has Jake Trebojevic, and so Jake takes the tackle 13 away from Newcastle's line. About 23 or 24 in from the eastern touchline. Wakeham dummy half, right for Fogarty. Gets it away to Fa'alolo. Olakawatu, quick hands. It goes behind Saab. He slips over. So Marju's able to pick it up. Race away for Newcastle. Turbo's laying prone down on the ground, about 12 away from his own goal line, as Marju makes it all the way to halfway for the Newcastle Knights. I think Ben Trebojevic was having a go at the referee that Turbo was taken out, but Newcastle gets 6 again. They spin it from the left to the right. Tom Young's got space. Matthew Elliott is waving ta-da, because Dom Young says see you later to everybody and races away and scores for Newcastle. Meanwhile, Tom Trebojevic is still getting treatment on his own 10-metre line. What about the way they spread that quickly, Newcastle, from left to right? And Dom Young just had way too much space over there. He's got all the speed in the world and they weren't catching him. Newcastle 14, Manly 6, kick to come. Just looking at the contact there from Greg Marju. I mean, they can't come back for it, but it was certainly what left Tom Trebojevic prone on the ground. Doesn't matter. Newcastle have scored, Matthew. 14-6 with a kick to come. 16 and a half to go first half.
Sorry, Ben, it was a collision, mate. There was nothing malice in it or illegal about it, but that shift to their right-hand side, Newcastle have shown repeatedly how dangerous they are, and Sandon Smith, the cutout pass to Dom Young, as soon as he got the ball, there was only one result. He was going the distance. He was singing that on the way.
Going for speed.
You just no way with that.
No, it's a good song. Keep going, Matthew. Touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Well, just saw the trainer with Manly give the thumbs up while walking back over to the group with Tom Trebojevic. So he's joined the huddle, but we did see as well Jake Trebojevic having a few words with the referee, Wyatt Raymond. So he didn't seem to be too pleased at all with how that went down. But hey, another try for the Newcastle Knights. So if you're a Knights fan here today, you'll be very happy with that.
Yeah, so as Dom Young was going the distance, Tom Trbojevic was all alone in his time of need at the other end of the field.
Oh, wow. You got to sing that, though. At least I gave it a crack.
20 in from the eastern touchline. Sandon Smith adds the extras. 2 from 3 this afternoon. Newcastle 16, Manly 6.
Yeah, and look, we talked about someone staying down there before. Well, Tom did stay down because he got hit in the ribs. You know, it was a fairly strong collision, but I didn't think there was anything illegal in that play at all.
Around the grounds, just for you, Steve, on the Gold Coast. Australia, a 3 for 77 with a lead of 13 after dismissing Bangladesh for 64 on the opening day of the second test in Mackay. Marnus Labuschagne out again for just 4. So questions no doubt continuing around his future in the Australian test side. Deep kick-off here, and Kalen Ponga has slipped over, but his foot was over the dead ball line as he's made contact with the ball. He made a meal of it, but just touching the ball with his foot over the dead ball line ensures that it was dead on the full from Manly, and Newcastle get a penalty on the halfway line. Kalen, I'm sure he's glad that he was already over the dead ball line because it looked ugly. He fell on his backside, lost the ball, but he touched it, and it's gone dead from Manly for a Newcastle penalty on halfway.
He thought it was funny too, Glenn. And he actually didn't have to touch it at all. The ball was, Ruben Garrick had hit that way too sweetly, and it was going dead.
Babysitting a neighbour's 50-kilo American staffy. He's a Rabbitohs supporter who loves his ABC grandstand. Thanks to Mitch and to Dexter listening, the Bunnies fan. I hope he's not literally a Bunnies fan. Thank you very much for that text message. 0467 920 222. Newcastle 30 away from Manly's line. They go to the left-hand side of the field, and Frizzell plays it 20 away. Crossland dummy half. One off the ruck right for Trey Mooney. Mooney is 11 away centre field for the Newcastle Knights, leading 16-6, 14 to go. Crossland dummy half. Goes right Sandon Smith, Ponga. Ponga's taken in a one-on-one tackle, and then Wakeham joins in as well. 13 away from the goal line. Ponga gets up and plays it 20 in from the eastern touchline. Sandon Smith, first receiver, changes direction for Matt Croker. Been a little bit quiet this afternoon, Matt Croker. Hasn't been heavily involved. Plays the ball 10 away from Manly's line. They come to the left. Smith gets it away to Ponga again. Sharp, quick hands for Frizzell. Wanted the offload, but Best had kind of overrun him, and it was the last play, so Frizzell has to take the tackle. 7 away from Manly's line. 3 in from the western touchline as Jason Saab returns it back up over the 10-metre line. 13 and a half to go in the first half. Newcastle leading Manly 16 points to 6, Matthew.
Yeah, that was a good defensive scramble there from the Manly team, because I tell you what, they ask some great questions, don't they? This Justin Holbrook, Coach Sider. Hang on.
Oh, Tolu Kola. He ran 10.58 as a kid. He gets past Dom Young like Young standing still, but he runs straight into Kalen Ponga, who comes up big and forces the error. What a tackle. One-on-one from Kalen Ponga to force the error. Well, Dom Young, he actually recovered and got involved as well. And Tolu Kola has lost the ball as he's racing away to score. 35 out from Newcastle's line, and you thought that was shut the gate as well, but after Dom Young got burned, he recovered beautifully, and Ben Trbojevic it was who threw the pass to Kola. And what about this recovery? Kalen Ponga gets in front of him, forces Kola to stop, and he made the initial contact. Dom Young does the rest. The ball comes loose. Newcastle get the scrum 30 away from their own line, Matthew.
I'll sum that up by saying, ouch.
Yes, indeed.
He got absolutely annihilated there.
What a hit from Kalen Ponga. Here's Tyson Frizzell. 7 short of the halfway line. Newcastle leading 16 points to 6, 12 to go first half. Jacob Saifidi back on the park for Newcastle now. It's been a long absence for him as well. He hasn't played since round 18 in that hamstring injury against the Dolphins. As they go right-hand side now, here's Sandon Smith, 29 away from Manly's line, final play. Fletcher hunts at dummy half. Left-hand side he goes to Crossland, and through the hands of Matt Croker to Ponga to kick over the top. Jason Saab gets a decent bounce and stops himself just before the goal line, and he's done enough as well, slipping over, and Fletcher Sharp has forced an error again. Jason Saab has done enough, I thought, to stay in the field of play, and Wyatt Raymond indicated as much, and then Sharp went again, forced the error, 11 and a half to go first half. It's Jason Saab's knock on that gives Newcastle a scrum feed, 10 away from Manly's line leading 16-6, Matthew.
Yeah, well, I would say Saab did a really good job of staying in the field of play. Then what he tried to do was promote the ball past the line, and it wasn't Sharp, it was him that actually came up with the knock on there.
After the referee already said it was fine, so he didn't need to do it. Touchline quickly, Bridget Murphy.
Yeah, it was very odd. Fletcher Sharp had already moved away and he let go of the ball, so very odd from Jason Saab.
Yeah, Newcastle win the scrum. They go to the right and they have the ball now in centre field through Lachlan Crouch. Gets up and plays it for Crossland. One off the ruck, left-hand side, Saifidi. Saifidi's adjacent to the left-hand upright, only about 1.5 metres away. Takes the tackle and then Crossland goes into dummy half to goes right to Sandon Smith. He gets whacked after throwing the pass as well. Ben Trebojevic, that was really late. That's dumb from Ben Trebojevic, and he might be in a bit of difficulty here. Newcastle get the penalty, 10 away from the line. Let's have a listen to Wyatt Raymond.
Who was it? Sorry, mate.
Well, it was Ben Trebojevic, Wyatt.
Just a penalty on report. Tom,
Put him on report.
Well, I think it's more of a sim binning than on report. Like,
listen, mate. Every decision I've made so far in this game, there has been commentary from your blokes.
Yeah.
There are actions that are just out-and-out penalties that your team needs to fix.
I understand that.
Take this opportunity now to have a chat.
Yeah.
No more. Way you go.
no, you can't ask a question, Tom. Wyatt Raymond's exactly right there. Ben Trebojevic, it's a clear penalty. Like, I don't know what Ben Trebojevic is thinking there, Matthew.
It's so late. You know, it's not like marginal. I see some of those penalties where the players, after his pass gets contact, it would have been impossible not for that to happen, but he just pushed him over.
It's not even it's two hands face up and he just pushes him over like in the schoolyard. That is dumb from Ben Trebojevic. Touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Yeah, the fact that we're watching the replays on the screen over and over again and there's barely a camera angle that captures both the movement of the ball and what happened in back play shows how much the ball had moved on before Ben Trebojevic decided to make contact. So Sandon Smith now lining up to take a penalty goal.
Manly, their own worst enemies. They've got nothing to complain about to Wyatt Raymond there. 21 in from the eastern touchline, 15 away. Sandon Smith looking to make it 18 points to 6 with his penalty goal. Just under 10 minutes left in the first half. 0467 920 222. Go Manly. Knights have one of the easiest runs home in the 8. Listening in Scone. Thank you, Rabbitohs Deb. Well, they've got to go to New Zealand next week. That is not easy, but they do have the bye heading into the final round and then the finals. So Sandon Smith makes no mistake. He is 3 from 4 this afternoon. Newcastle leading 18 points to 6 around the grounds in NRLW. The Raiders leading the Bulldogs 12 points to 0. New South Wales Cup, Newtown leading North Sydney 12-8. New South Wales Women's Premiership, Penrith leading Illawarra 20 points to 0. Queensland Women's Premiership, Brisbane Tigers leading Burleigh 14-6. Northern Pride leading Central Queensland 12-0. 4-all between the Devils and the Jets, and AFL fourth quarter Carlton 112, Fremantle 70. Fourth quarter AFLW, Western Bulldogs leading 34-23. Halftime Gold Coast leading West Coast 48-15. Australia 3 for 95 after dismissing Bangladesh for 64. Newcastle leading 18 points to 6. 8:50 to go in the first half. And Greg Marju has it for the Knights, 23 away from his own goal line. Gets a quick play of the ball as well. So they go quickly to the right-hand side and they will play the ball only about 13 short of the halfway line through Crouch. They continue to the right and now Jermaine McEwen loses it cold. So they've let Manly off the hook slightly here. Can the Sea Eagles make something of this? Because they haven't been down this end very often in this first half. They'll play the ball 31 away from the line. Ben Trebojevic gets a one-handed offload to Simpkin, and then they continue to Caleb Naval, who'll play the ball about 23 away in centre field. Simpkin gets up and is at dummy half. Right-hand side for Wakeham. On it goes Fogarty, and then changes direction for Olakawatu. Olakawatu's 11 away from the line and 15 in from the western touchline. Simpkin, left-hand side, long ball to Wakeham, then short ball Naval. He's only 8 away from the goal line in front of the left-hand upright at the southern end of Hunter Stadium. The shadow's getting longer. Simpkin dummy half, right for Wakeham. Olakawatu close to the line. 3 or 4 Newcastle players are needed to stop the wrecking ball that close. Olakawatu gets up and plays it for Simpkin. Left-hand side, Wakeham. On it goes Faololo. Here's Tom Trebojevic with space for Kohler. Kohler towards the line. Great covering tackle from Kalen Ponga. Centimetres short of the line. Kohler's slow to get up and play it on the last. He's hurt himself. He goes back to ground. Right to Tom Trebojevic. First receiver, Caleb Naval. He hasn't played since 2025. An ACL in pre-season. His first minutes in the NRL for 2026, and he's got a try. It's Manly's second of the afternoon. It was a really good change of direction. Over the line, 18 points to 10. Manly trail with a kick to come, and 7 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, Kohler gets mowed down right on the try line, and he's still down there. I really feel like Dom Young may get held up on a hip drop here, but what about Tom Trbojevic? We talked about, his reluctance to really go as fast as he can there, but he shows what a ball player is. He heads across the field, puts on a beautiful pass for Naval, goes over untouched on the try line.
Well, we see it with Kalen Ponga so often, being that third half, and that's what Tom Trbojevic has done there. He's come in as that ball-playing fullback, and he's set up the try. So Manly back in this one, touchline Bridget Murphy.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles, but just looking along with a lot of concern over at the trainers on the far side of the pitch for Manly. Tolu Kohler's still down, looking like he's in an absolute world of pain, clutching at. Trainer looks like he's holding an ankle, his right ankle, doing some tests there. So we'll see what happens if he gets to his feet.
Yeah, just getting the binoculars out. It looks like it might be his left ankle. He looks in a real world of pain. And as he got to get up and play the ball, he was really grimacing. Is it Dom Young goes? The whole weight of Dom Young lands on his left leg there. So Tolu Kohler could be in some difficulty here. Had scored in 3 straight games before that shutout last week against the Dolphins. He made his Origin debut this year as well. Had a season-ending MCL injury this time last year as well, Matthew. So let's hope he can continue on. But at the moment, it's not looking wonderful for Tolu Kohler. We'll keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, Jamal Fogarty is 16 in from the eastern touchline. And as you mentioned, it was looked at like a hip drop, and Fogarty adds the extras. He's 2 from 2 this afternoon. It's 18 points to 12, and Dom Young's on report, Matthew.
Yeah, and he's calling him out now, so this could even be a sin bid, Glenn. So they don't often call him out when they're just putting him on report.
Yeah, he's going to go to the bin here for sure. Wyatt Raymond is pulling Dom Young over, and Tolu Kohler's looking okay as he's walking
So he's
back.
got a grip. He rotates and lands on the legs with an elevated risk of injury. Okay, you're on report, you're in the bin.
There you go. So Dom Young will spend the rest of this first half in the bin. There's just under 6 to go, and Tolu Kohler is getting interchanged now. And we'll see Josh Valetti come on to the field for the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles.
Yeah, look, I agree with the sin binning, but it's one of those things that you're doing something at such high speed is that he didn't actually mean to do it, even though it was completely illegal. He didn't consciously try and drop his hip on the back of his ankle to stop him getting over the try line.
Hi, Andrew. Oh, thank you for calling me Andrew. That's I really appreciate that. I'm not in his world. I don't know what game the ref's watching, but he needs an appointment to check his eyes. What happened to Clayton Luongo that caused him to have a head assessment? Now look at the hip drop by Dom Young. Really, Frank from Freshwater. Well, Frank, Dom Young has just been put on report and sent to the sin bin. We all agree that he missed the Jermaine McKeown one, but he hasn't missed that one. So he's at least 50%. Left-hand side, they spin it. Ben Trbojevic to Tom. Now when it goes to Lehigh Hopewadi, and he's brought to ground 5 away from the halfway line as Manly look to make the most of that try and try to add the advantage here and almost potentially level it up. Trail by 6. The Sea Eagles have the ball about 20 centimetres inside Newcastle territory centre field. As they get up and play the ball for... they go left-hand side here. There's trouble. Tom Trbojevic and Lehigh Hopewadi linking up really well on the left. It was back to Tom in the middle. He got a quick play the ball, and he's only been on the field for about 3 or 4 minutes. Josh Valetti, not even that long. Valetti scores the try. It's the first set after he came on for Tolu Kohler, and Josh Valetti has got his first try of the season. Manly have scored back-to-back in successive sets, 18 points to 16. And how quick was it on the left-hand side between Ben Trbojevic, Lehigh Hopewadi, Tom Trbojevic that made the play down that left-hand side to quick play the ball from Tom, and Valetti scores the try, and all of a sudden it's a ball game. Newcastle 18, Manly 16, 4.5 to go first half.
Yeah, really good exchange of passing there by the players there, but I've also got to tip my hat to Jake Simpkins, who's been going to dummy half. He got out of there, he drew Kalen Ponga to him and put the player over there. He's done an exceptional job since moving to hooker.
Well, they've made the most of that man advantage on Newcastle's right edge defence with Dom Young in the sin bin, and all of a sudden Manly very much back in this one. Touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Yeah, absolutely. And also making sure that they floated that ball to go against Fletcher Hunt, who, while, we said it earlier in the match, is a fantastic young player for the Newcastle Knights, still has a little bit of inexperience, particularly in defence. So I feel like we're going to see, for the rest of this sin binning at least, which has got about 7 minutes 50 left on it, a lot of action on that edge that is missing Dom Young at the moment.
Fogarty, 19 in from the eastern touchline, 2 from 2 this afternoon. He can level things up here. Newcastle and Manly with 3.5 to go in the first half. Newcastle with 12 men at the moment. He strikes this one beautifully. Touchy's flags go up, 18 points apiece between the Seagulls and the Newcastle Knights. 0467 920 222. Fozball, it's fast becoming fizzball. I was happy Manly for them for a while, and that's hard to admit regards trying to play well. That was actually said about 3 or 4 minutes ago. They've scored 2 tries in about that time. 0467 920 222. This bloke's a joke, Rob from Ipswich. Talk about Z-grade refereeing. Well, thank you for that, Rob. Hi from Brisbane, waiting for the Dragons game. Will it be a three-peat? Floss and Lens. Fingers crossed for those Dragons fans. Long suffering this season. Really enjoying the commentary despite being a Cows fan. Cheers, Dave in Toowoomba. Thank you, Dave. Manly had the ball through Naval after the kickoff. They go to Tontrebojevic. They're spreading it straight away. Failolo has the ball 17 away from his own goal line, and about the same margin from the eastern touchline as he gets up and plays the ball. Scooting out of dummy half is Opawati, and he finds himself 25 away from his own goal line, 21 in from the eastern touchline. Slow to get up and play the ball for Simpkin. They come right through their hands, it goes, and then that's a good strong run from the youngster. Nick Lennox gets up and plays the ball about 30 away from his own goal line. They come left now for Simpkin, and then Wakeham, and then Failolo. Great ball back on the inside from Ben to Tom. Geez, they would have done that in the backyard a few times, and they read each other beautifully. Simpkin does well out of dummy half again. Failolo back to Ben Trebojevic, keeps the ball alive, but Manly can't hang on to it. That was razzle-dazzle from the Sea Eagles, but Wakeham puts it down 20 away from Newcastle's line. To be fair to Wakeham, it was high up in the air. He had to reach for it, but what about some of these offloads from Ben Trebojevic? When they come off, they come off. That one didn't. Newcastle get the scrum feed 20 away from their own goal line. 2 minutes to go in the first half, and it's 18 all Newcastle Manly.
He was passing to a player that should have been 6'2" rather than 5'4", and Brandon Wakeham would have caught that easy. I can tell you what, you talked about Ben Trebojevic, his offloading. He's on fire at the moment. They're going down their left-hand side. We've got a player down again as well.
Turbo, he's clutching in his right ankle. Touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Well, he's just gotten to his feet, but goodness, he is limping back toward the scrum. Actually, he may be limping toward the sideline at the moment going off. So the Manly captain, is he going back to the scrum?
Thumbs up from the trainer.
But yes, he does not look well. I feel like he's labouring on that leg quite a bit.
Yeah, so we've got Tyson Frizzell on report now as well for going over the top of Tom Trebojevic. So similar to the Dom Young incident. The good news for the Seagulls is it's not his hammy, it's his ankle. I mean, not that that makes it any better, but he is sort of hobbling around and okay out on the field now, Tom Trebojevic, and he does get the penalty for the Seagulls, and Tyson Frizzell is on report. So Manly have the ball now through Lenaz, about 18 away from Newcastle's goal line and 23 in from the eastern touchline. With a minute 40 to go in the first half, Newcastle 12 players, and Manly attacking. Caleb Naval is 12 away from the line. Simpkin waiting at dummy half. Naval is manhandled as he gets to his feet, plays the ball. They go left. Here's Tom Trebojevic. Failolo dummies goes himself, almost finds a way through, but he's brought to ground 3 away from the goal line. Gets up and plays it for Ben Trebojevic, who goes short left-hand side. Josh Folletti has got a double for the Sea Eagles. Great play from Ben Trebojevic. Eyes up footy out of dummy half. Goes short left to where Dom Young should have been. He's in the sin bin. Fletcher Hunt is all at sea on his own. Folletti runs straight at him, scores the try, his double. Manly 22, Newcastle 18. A kick to come and a minute left in the first half.
Yeah, well, we don't often talk about Ben Trebojevic, do we? He's probably the least ranked of the brothers, but he should put the 7 jersey on as far as I'm concerned. He's playing like a great hooker of dummy half. Goes down the short side, ball straight off the ground. serves it up perfectly. He's on fire at the moment. I'll tell you what, Newcastle have taken the foot off the accelerator. I know they've got to play it down, but you could just smell it coming.
Back to the 70s. He's wearing number 12 and he's playing at dummy half like a hooker there. That was a great pass out of dummy half from Ben Trbojevic. And what about this turnaround? The sin binning has made a huge difference, Bridget Murphy touchline.
I don't know what you mean by the 70s. I'm looking at the 80s into the early 90s because it's mullet on mullet action in this try and the attempted defence from Fletcher Hunt. But yes, Josh Folletti, what an absolute reach as well to score that try. Fantastic from Manly. And if they can keep this intensity going into the second half, this could landslide the other way and Newcastle could completely lose grip of this.
Scored 7 in 7 this year in New South Wales Cup, Josh Folletti. No tries until today in 9 games. And he's got a double in this first half for the Sea Eagles to take a lead into half-time. 22 points to 18. Fogarty is a metre in from the eastern touchline. 3 from 3 this afternoon. Moves in, strikes this one beautifully, Fogarty. He's 4 from 4 this afternoon. It is half-time. Manly, who lost Clayton Farlolo to an HIA early, he came back. It was Category 2. They were a bit rudderless when he wasn't on the field. They've been clunky at times. Newcastle got their way back into the game after conceding the first try. They scored 3 tries in 13 minutes, Newcastle, but certainly this last 10 minutes, the Dom Young sin binning has made a huge difference. He's still got 3 minutes 40 of the second half to go. Manly have scored 3 tries in his absence already, Matthew, and leading 24 points to 18 at half-time.
Well, Newcastle looked like the dominant side for most of that game, didn't they? Well, that first half. But as soon as Manly got the opportunity, it was quite bizarre because their left-hand defensive unit had sort of leaked a lot of points. But once they get the ball, aren't they, a really potent unit? Ben Trbojevic has really lit them up. But you got Kohler, you got Farlolo there, you got Hopewadi. There's a fair bit of speed and potency there in attack, but they've also got a fair bit of vulnerability defensively.
Yeah, that left side for Manly is really humming in attack, but you're right, that's where Newcastle have gone when they've had the ball, and Kalen Ponga, obviously Dom Young, have had some real success out on that side. Bridget Murphy, touchline.
Yeah, just also saw Tom Trbojevic as he was walking back into the sheds. He was walking very slowly, mainly because he was doing a media interview with the other broadcaster, but he did look still like he was carrying a bit of that limp, so we'll see how he comes out of the sheds into the second half. But like I said, if Manly can keep up this level of intensity, this could be an absolute landslide, but it will remain to see what will happen once Dom Young is back and Newcastle are at full strength.
Yeah, I think that'll be big for Newcastle if they can get him back on with that 3 minutes 40 in the second half. It looks like we're going to have the Fletcher Hunt, Josh Folletti Cup here at half-time. The mullets are out and they're having the race. When you look at some of the stats, Manly 66% completions, Newcastle 81. Manly, Newcastle similar with all run meters. The Knights 762 and Manly 745. Pretty low for the first half. Manly 5 line breaks to 3 and Newcastle 15 tackle breaks to 13. Defensively, Newcastle making 125 and missing 14. Manly making 128 and missing 15. Manly 5 errors to Newcastle's 4 and Newcastle lead the penalty count 5-1. Newcastle 2 ruck infringements, so it's 6 against to them to none to Manly. Let's have a look at what's happening around the grounds in the NRLW. Canberra leading the Bulldogs 22 points to 0. Half-time in New South Wales Cup. Norths lead Newtown 14-12 and Canberra lead Parramatta 22-10. New South Wales Women's Premiership. Penrith lead Illawarra 24-6. Queensland Women's Premiership. Brisbane Tigers 14 leading Burleigh 12. Central Queensland 14 leading Northern Pride 12. The Devils and the Jets are locked at 8-all and Sunshine Coast leading Tweed 10 points to 0 in the first half. Carlton's beaten Fremantle 119-82 in the AFL. AFLW fourth quarter. Western Bulldogs leading Richmond 34-23 and half-time. Gold Coast leading West Coast 48-15. Australia extending their lead to 36 now in the third session of the second test against Bangladesh in Mackay. Australia 3 for 100 with a lead of 36. 0467 920 222. Half-time lead for some work banter. Thank you for your text message. shout out to Shauno and his Seagulls getting up over Ben's Knights. G'day, boys and Bridget. Great call. Just a correction. Navale, I beg your pardon, not Naval, Fijian name. Thank you, Mark, and my apologies. Okay, I know the fat lady hasn't sung yet, but I love Manly from Sharon in Brisbane. Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate that. Thanks to David for your text message. Plenty of talks about the bunker as well. Appreciate your text messages as well. Thank you, Ross. Ross wants you to pull some levers at the Dragon to get a spot for Tyrell Sloan to stay, Matthew. But
I think you'd have to pull some players for that to happen, unfortunately, for Tyrell. So there'd be some of the players that are on contract that would have to decide to take an opportunity elsewhere.
Fair enough. 0467 920 222. Thanks for your text messages. Still coming through. Of course, this is the first game of a big Saturday on NRL Saturday here on ABC Sport because we have still got two big games to come this afternoon. It is 22 points to 18 at the moment. Manly leading Newcastle. Next, we will be heading off to the Olympic Stadium. The Rabbitohs taking on the Warriors. Andrew Moore, Luke Lewis and Michael Carianis will have a preview for us on the other side of ABC News.
ABC News with Satyam Weinstein. Rescue crews in Ukraine are working to save people trapped under rubble after a Russian drone attack on a shopping centre killed at least 16 people. Kerry Worthington reports.
The daytime attack in the central city of Kryvyi Rih came as the centre was filled with people doing their shopping. Officials say the strikes came in waves in a bid to target emergency service personnel responding to the first explosion. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, who's from Kryvyi Rih, has described the attack as cynical and despicable.
This is an absolute atrocity committed by the Russians. They're nothing but beasts. We will definitely respond.
More than 100 people were wounded in the strikes, with footage from the scene showing a thick plume of black smoke as emergency crews worked through the wreckage of the building.
Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke says it's in the national interest for more states and territories to join the federal government's gun buyback scheme. The ACT has become the second jurisdiction to agree to take part after New South Wales signed up last week. The Commonwealth unveiled the scheme in the wake of the Bondi Beach terrorist attack, but some states, such as Queensland, are refusing to support it. Mr Burke says the government is working with the states in good faith.
It's in the national interest that states and territories step up the way New South Wales and the ACT has. I respect, when I look at what happened in the years following Port Arthur, that different jurisdictions will make their own decisions as well.
The United States has imposed 50% tariffs on some Canadian products after last-ditch talks failed amid already tense relations between the neighbours and historic allies. US President Donald Trump's new import taxes will hit about 5% of what Canada ships to America, worth around $30 billion. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says last-minute changes in terms proposed by the US were unfair and uneconomic, calling into question the reliability of any deal. US Trade Representative Jameson Greer is accusing Canada of upending a careful balance reached in recent days. The governor of Mexico's Sinaloa state, who's accused by the U.S. of drug trafficking, has returned to office after more than 3 months. 77-year-old Ruben Rocha says he's returning to his duties, and Mexican authorities have found no evidence to back up the American accusations. Mr. Moy is an ally of Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum. He says the claims from the U.S. are politically motivated attack against Ms. Sheinbaum's left-wing government. Authorities in the U.S. state of Hawaii are warning people on the Big Island to prepare as a powerful storm bears down on the island, which was hit by a hurricane last weekend. Tropical storm Moke is packing winds of around 75 kilometers per hour. Officials say bad weather can be expected from tomorrow. Last week, Category 1 Hurricane Lala just missed the Big Island, bringing over a meter of rain. The storm knocked out power for tens of thousands of people, blocked roads, and flooding swept dozens of homes off their foundations. The World Food Programme says it's very concerned about the impact of potentially record-breaking El Niño developing in the Pacific Ocean. The weather phenomenon pushes up global temperatures and increases the risk of extreme weather. In Australia, that's likely to mean a wet spring with heavy rains and powerful storms. The WFP's Jean-Martin Bauer says it's likely to worsen food insecurity around the world.
Well, unfortunately, some of the impacts are already there. We're expecting, in some parts of the world, drought. In other parts of the world, flooding. And these are events
that could impact livelihoods, it could impact food markets, it can impact food security for the most vulnerable households. We're very concerned about the situation.
The Armed Crime Squad is investigating a drive-by shooting at a cafe in Melbourne's Inner West less than a week after a gangland boss was shot at his nearby home. Here's Yvette Gray.
Police say a man was shot outside a cafe in Altona North last night and the shooter fled the scene in a vehicle. The victim was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No arrests have been made. Last night, forensic police could be seen examining bullet holes in the window of the cafe and surrounding walls. Detectives are investigating whether the incident is linked to the shooting of gangland boss Fadi Hadara at his Altona North home last Sunday night, which left him with critical injuries. Separately, in March, a man was shot in the arm at the same cafe, which investigators said at the time was linked to the illicit tobacco trade.
And the Australian wheelchair rugby team is into the semi-finals of the 2026 World Championships in Brazil following a 59-47 win over Denmark. The Steelers are aiming to defend their world title won 4 years ago against Team USA. The side will face either Canada or Great Britain for a place in the final next week. ABC News.
Get ready for a year of Test cricket like you've never heard before.
Hits the bat, out. It's LBW.
Grandstand cricket.
12 months, 20 Test matches, New Zealand at home over summer, the 3 most iconic overseas tours, the 150th anniversary Test under lights at the MCG.
Driving through the covers and crunching it away to the boundary.
And it starts now with Australia versus Bangladesh.
Big shout the leg before, finger goes up and Cummins strikes.
Listen to every ball live from Mackay on ABC Listen. Just look for the cricket button.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
Now the one-handed offload from Lehigh Hopewadi sends Faololo through the backfield. He's passed Ponga one-on-one. Geez, not many players burn Caleb Ponga like that. And Faololo races away and scores the try. 2.5 minutes gone. Manly have done a Newcastle to Newcastle. Right-hand side, Smith takes it to the line, gets it away to Sharp. Numbers here. Fletcher Hunt dummies and goes through. Oh, that is a beautiful sell from Fletcher Hunt. He could sell ice to Eskimos with that dummy. He goes through the gap and he scores 8 metres in from the eastern touchline as Marju makes it all the way to halfway for the Newcastle Knights. I think Ben Trebojevic was having a go at the referee that Turbo was taken out, but Newcastle get 6 again. They spin it from the left to the right. Dom Young's got space. Matthew Elliott is waving ta-da because Dom Young says see you later to everybody and races away and scores for Newcastle. Meanwhile, Tom Trebojevic is still getting treatment on his own 10-metre line. 3 away from the goal line. Gets up and plays it for Ben Trebojevic, who goes short left-hand side. Josh Folletti has got a double for the Sea Eagles. Great play from Ben Trebojevic. Eyes up footy out of dummy half. Goes short left to where Dom Young should have been. He's in the sin bin. Fletcher Hunt is all at sea on his own. Folletti runs straight at him, scores the try, his double. Manly 22, Newcastle 18.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio
and ABC Listen.
Yeah, that last try was converted by Jamal Fogarty. 24 points to 18 at half-time. Manly leading Newcastle as the Sea Eagles look to snap that 6-game losing streak. Next, we are off to the Olympic Stadium where the South Sydney Rabbitohs will be taking on the Warriors. Another big test. The Warriors' premiership credentials as they head to Sydney. Watching it for us will be Michael Carianis, Luke Lewis and Andrew Moore. G'day, Andrew.
G'day, Glenn. Yeah, the first encounter between these two teams this year, and what an important one. The Rabbitohs, while coming 7th as opposed to the Warriors 3rd, they have won 8 games in a row at this ground, but the Warriors have won 3 of their last 4 against South Sydney here. Team news is in, no changes to the Rabbitohs, 1-19 they are, and for the Warriors, centre Ali Leotower drops back to the bench. Adam Pompey will start in jersey number 18 in the centres, and Jet Cleary comes onto the bench in place of Morgan Gannon for the Warriors. In the same week, he's been granted a release by the Warriors to join Penrith a year early, being next year. Referee Todd Smith, Grant Atkins in the bunker. Just a spectacular winter's day here at Stadium Australia. Luke Lewis, good afternoon to you once again. What a good game this should be, and obviously one of great importance in terms of the Warriors' top 4 hopes and the Rabbitohs in the top 8.
Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon, boys. It should be a really good game of football. South Sydney's starting to find a little bit of their mojo. I love the way the Warriors play. I love how they run the ball. They run to hurt. Everything that they're doing at the moment, their line speed, their kick chase, their play the ball speed is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm really looking forward to how it's going to unfold. But it should be a tough one.
Michael Carianis, your tip?
Warriors.
Let's go back to Hunter Stadium. Glenn Lorna.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Yeah, both teams back out for the second half of this one. And good news for Manly fans. Tom Trbojevic raced out really quickly out of the tunnel, testing out that ankle that he got rolled on late in the first half. So Tom Trbojevic is back out there for Manly. Still no Tolu Kola, though. Josh Folletti is continuing at left centre after scoring a double in the first half. A suspected ankle injury to Kola. We'll get more updates from Bridget Murphy throughout the afternoon. And the Newcastle Knights, after conceding 3 tries in the final 8 minutes of that first half, will have first use of the football in the second stanza. It is taken by Kalen Ponga and then returned up over the 10-metre line and into the Manly defensive line at the northern end of Hunter Stadium by Lachlan Crouch. Here's a good carry from Jacob Saifidi on the second play. Plays it 20 away from his own line. Crossland continues to the right-hand side, and Jermaine McEwen is now 30 away from his own goal line at the trotting track end of Hunter Stadium. The Newcastle Knights with first use of the football in the second half. They have it through Tyson Frizzell. He was on report in the first half for that hip drop on Tom Trbojevic, and now they have the ball on the left-hand side of the last Newcastle. Getting up and playing the ball is Thomas Cant. They come right one off the ruck for Sandon Smith to put the high kick up. Tom Trbojevic has plenty of time to take it just outside his own 20. Then he returns it into the Newcastle defensive line, where he's tackled 33 away from his own goal line in centre field. He'll play the ball. They'll come right after Fogarty at dummy half. And they had the ball now about 5 short of halfway through Olakawatu. Left-hand side through the hands of Jason Saab. On it goes to Lehigh Hopewadi. And Hopewadi is about 2 inside Newcastle territory. Simpkin scoots out at dummy half, and then Manly lose the football with the line open. It was Caleb Navale who was trying to find a way through. Simpkin just held the pass up maybe slightly, and Newcastle will get the ball back. It was the third play, so it will be a scrum for the Knights, 8 metres inside their own territory. Dom Young still has 2 minutes left in the sin bin. Manly leading 24-18, a minute and a half gone second half, Matthew.
Yeah, I'll put that down to a forced error by Phoenix Crossland there, where he came in, hit Navale right in the middle, got the ball loose. But Newcastle need to show more intent defensively, because Manly at the moment, I know it's only 2 sets into this first half, but they look superior already.
Fletcher Hunt has it for Newcastle now. 3 inside his own territory, 20 in from the western touchline. Crossland at dummy half. Left for Jacob Saifidi. Strong run into the Manly defensive line, straight and hard. He'll get up and play the ball 3 inside Sea Eagles territory. Left Crossland out at dummy half for Frizzell. Then Sandon Smith changes direction for Marju to run back into the middle and take the tackle 10 inside Manly's half. Crossland again goes to Lachlan Crouch. Crouch has it 32 away from Manly's line, centre field. He'll play the ball for Crossland to come left for Sandon Smith at dummy half. Ponga tries to get past Ruben Garrick, but he takes the tackle 29 away from Manly's line on the final play. Newcastle trailing by 6. Sandon Smith will kick towards the southeastern corner. Tom Trbojevic comes forward, takes it cleanly as well. It's a good catch under pressure, and Tom Trbojevic takes the tackle 12 away from his own line. Another Manly player down in back play over on the far side. And while we are seeing Manly come away from their own end, let's get down to the touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Yeah, really unfortunate news out of the sheds from Manly. It's a syndesmosis injury for Tolu Kola, so he will not be back this afternoon. We'll wait to hear if there's any more information made available today.
Thank you, Bridge. Disappointing for Manly. Hamole Olakawatu is the man that's getting treatment from the trainer over on the right-hand side. The trainer puts the thumb up, so we'll see him continue. 20-odd seconds left for Dom Young before Newcastle are back to 13, and Ben Trbojevic has it for Manly, 30 away from his own goal line in centre field. It's play 3. Manly are leading 24-18. They're on their own 30-metre line, and now they advance it to within 6 of halfway through Jamal Fogarty. Final play, and 23 in from the eastern touchline. Left-hand side for Farlow, kick from just outside 40. Deep downfield taken by Ponga as Dom Young returns for the Newcastle Knights now, and Ponga is taken 25 away from his own goal line. So we're back to 13 on 13. 4 minutes gone in the second half. Manly leading 24-18. They scored 3 tries while Dom Young was in the sin bin, and now he has the ball, and it's good bullet looking run as well to within 7 of the halfway line. Navale drops off at the feet, allows him to play the ball. They go to the left-hand side. Ponga gets it away to Thomas Cant. Strong run from Thomas Cant, and he's taken 11 inside Manly territory, 20 in from the eastern touchline. That's the way they go short side, and then Fletcher Sharp will change direction and crab back across field for Lockie Crouch to go on a strong straightening run and tackle 27 away from Manly's line final play. They come right, crossland out of dummy half for Sandon Smith. He puts the kick up. It's taken by Lehigh Hopewadi in the field of play. Gets past McEwen's chase, gets past Sandon Smith, and then he's taken 15 away from his own goal line in centre field finally. Manly 24, Newcastle 18, 5 gone, second half.
I'll tell you what, Newcastle need to do a better job with their kick chase. They had plenty of time to get there. Give Lehigh Hopewadi space, there will be a consequence for it, I can tell you that.
That was way too easy for Lehigh Hopewadi to get away from his own goal line. Here's Tom Trbojevic, gets the offload away, and Falolo was backing up as he continues on now for Manly to take the tackle through Nick Lenaz, 12 short of halfway. Simpkin scoots out of dummy half, right for Tom Trbojevic, and Tom is tackled on the halfway line in centre field. Gets up and plays the ball for Simpkin. Right-hand side for Fogarty, kicking low on the run, looking to find touch on that eastern side. He does so. Just to cool things down a little bit, Newcastle will get the ball 10 away from their own goal line. Fogarty's not looking too happy with himself there, but it does mean that Manly can try to keep Newcastle penned in at this northern end, leading 24-18 with 5.5 gone second half.
Yeah, well, Newcastle look like they're in the 75th minute, not just coming out of half time. And they look, I showed you my pre-game notes where they're a team that have been known to switch off occasionally when they get in front, and it's certainly been the case today. They need to really get back into this game physically.
A very warm welcome to our listeners through local radio in Canberra and the ACT. Joining us a minute or so ago from the AFL, Newcastle are trailing Manly at home, 24 points to 18. Manly scoring 3 tries in 8 minutes before half-time. Dom Young was spending 10 minutes in the sin bin as well. He's been placed on report. But Newcastle have the ball 5 inside their own territory. Sandon Smith changes direction, and then Trey Mooney is taken about a metre short of the halfway line on the final play for Newcastle. Bright sunny afternoon, the shadows are lengthening, and Sandon Smith puts the kick downfield from halfway. It's taken by Lehigh Hopewadi on his own 10-metre line, and again Newcastle's chase just holds off. Tom Trbojevic goes up to the 20-metre line before he's tackled. Manly had plenty of time to decide what they were going to do with the ball there, but Tom Trbojevic decides to take the tackle. Now here's Ruben Garrick, stepping on his right foot back onto the inside. Garrick gets the offload away. Simpkin dummies, goes back into traffic, tries to find a way through, and now Jake Simpkin has going to give the penalty away for an obstruction. He went through the hole where there was a big gap in the defence. I think there was going to be a ruck there because they got the offload away. We're going all the way back to the 20-metre line, and Newcastle have got a penalty here. Matthew Elliott with Manly leading 24-18 and 8 gone second half.
I'm just trying to see where this penalty arose, because I was oblivious of it at the time.
Touchline, Bridget Murphy, have you got any idea what that penalty was for?
Yeah, I'm just as confused as you are, Maddie. It seemed to happen, sequences ago, but hey, Newcastle back with the ball.
Yeah, they've gone back all the way to where that ruck was, unless they're saying there might have been a push from Manly as they got up, or maybe there was something said that we didn't hear either. But Newcastle had the ball 10 away from Manly's line centre field. Crosslands at dummy half, right for Sandon Smith. He keeps it alive for Fletcher Sharp, and Sharp loses the ball in the tackle for Lockie Crouch to dive on, but it's gone forward, and Manly, despite giving away that penalty, that phantom penalty, they have forced the error, and they'll get the scrum 10 away from their own goal line, leading 24-18, 8 gone second half.
What a game Ben Trbojevic is having. We talked about some of his magic play in attack, but it's his defensive hit there that shakes the error free. Yeah, Manly are looking very dominant at the moment, and Newcastle, they're frustrated with themselves, not with the ref, not with the opposition, but they're just not playing the way they're capable of.
Australia 3 for 110 in Mackay on day one after dismissing Bangladesh for just 64, a lead of 46. NRLW halftime, Canberra leading the Bulldogs 28-0, and Manly have the ball 15 away from their own goal line after winning that scrum. Oh, that was almost lost as Jason Saab got off and played the ball. He somehow managed to hold on to that one. Lucky he's got the sticky spray on his hands, because that would have been a Newcastle ball as Navale straightens on his run, and he takes the tackle 30 away from his own goal line centre field. 0-4 0467 920 222 is the text line. Bridget Murphy, Matthew Elliott, Glenn Lauder, Ben Trebojevic again. Straight through a yawning gap. Grubbers for his brother Tom, who wants to bounce. He puts it on the toe, but he loses the ball into Fletcher Hunt. He's going to get up and play the ball here and get away with it. They'll score from the subsequent play in the corner. Folletti gets a hat-trick. Wyatt Raymond points to the spot, and I reckon Manly might have gotten away with one here. They won't be able to go back any further than the previous play the ball, but as Tom Trebojevic regathered from the second stabbing grubber, I'm sure he lost the ball into Kalen Ponga. It doesn't matter. Manly scored 28 points to 18 with a kick to come and 10 gone in the second half.
Firstly, I think you're right there, Glenn, but again, what a beautiful pass from Fa'alalo to who else other than Ben Trebojevic. I can not only tackle, I can not only make breaks and offload, I can kick as well. And
he might have regathered before it touches Fletcher Hunt. I reckon that's a good call from the referees in the end.
The referee was right, Glenn, and we were wrong.
Touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Yeah, looking at Kalen Ponga here, just talking to Wyatt Raymond, he is not happy at all. He was trying to argue with that one, but it looks like it will be awarded. Matthew Elliott, did you not say about 20, 30 minutes ago that Burbo should be playing halfback?
I did.
Well,
he's on fire. He obviously heard me because, but the resume just keeps going through the roof.
Passing game, kicking game, tackling. How good's he gone today, Ben Trebojevic?
Let him kick the goal.
Well, Jamal Fogarty's been pretty good off the boot today. He's 4 from 4, including one from almost an identical position at the back end of the first half. Right on the touchline on his left-hand side for the right footer. Metre in from this western touchline. Just taking his time here. Jamal Fogarty, time on from Wyatt Raymond, hits this one pretty sweetly as well. What a kick that is from Jamal Fogarty. He has got the radar locked in today. 5 from 5, Manly 30, Newcastle 18. Ben Trebojevic today in his 50 minutes so far has made 61 metres, including 27 post-contact, 3 line break assists, a try assist, 6 hit-ups, and he's also made, in terms of defence, he's made 13 tackles with no misses as well. So a really good game from Ben Trebojevic. His kicking game as well has been outstanding. 0467 920 222. Rich from Sandringham in Victoria. Thank you very much to Ethan and Xavier, who'd love a shout out from Andrew in Wagga. Go the Eels. G'day, Ethan and Xavier. Thank you very much for listening to us here on ABC Sport. NRL Saturday with Bridget Murphy, Matthew Elliott. I'm Glenn Lauder. Get to a few other texts in a moment, but Manly had the ball through Olakau'atu, 25 away from their own goal line after scoring the first try of the second half through Josh Folletti, who's got a hat-trick this afternoon against the Newcastle Knights, and Ben Trebojevic will take the tackle 32 away from the line. Simpkin goes right out of dummy half. He gets the ball away to Corey Waddell, and Waddell takes the tackle 4 short of the halfway line. Simpkin still at dummy half. Last play, so Fogarty kicks downfield from centre field. It bounces for Dom Young. He slips as he tries to regather. He has made an absolute hash of that, Dom Young. Don't let it bounce, and when you do, try to make a better attempt at catching the ball. It's Greg Marju over on the far side. Sorry, Dom, I didn't mean to wrongly accuse you. Marju has made a complete mess of that as he loses the ball, maybe in the sun. I'm not sure, but he completely misreads it, slips over, and then it goes straight through his fingers, loses the ball. Manly get a scrum, 18 away from Newcastle's line.
Yep, he definitely did not get that right. A bit of sun in his eyes, but there's a thing called sprigs on the bottom of his shoe.
Yeah.
And if the surface is slippery, it's always good to have slightly longer ones, and he just nearly fell on his face, cost his team this field position.
Yeah, Manly win the scrum. They go to the left-hand side through Tom Trebojevic, takes the tackle 13 away from Newcastle's line. Slow to get up and play the ball. Lehigh Hopewadi waiting at dummy half. He goes to Fa'alolo, and then here it goes to Waddell, 10 away from the goal line centre field. Corey Waddell gets up and plays the ball, and out of dummy half they continue to the right-hand side. They're only 7 away from Newcastle's line. line, Manly, leading 30 points to 18. Navale gets up and plays it for Simpkin. Dummies goes himself, and he's only centimetres away from the goal line at the northern end. In fact, he might be held up over the line he is. So he'll go back out to the 10-metre line where Manly will continue this set. Newcastle really on the ropes here for a team looking desperately to try to finish in the top 4. They need to pretty much win this week and next. They've got the bye ahead of them, but that bye doesn't help with for and against them. Certainly, if they can't get 2 points this afternoon, then they won't be finishing in the top 4. Final play for Manly, and getting up and playing it is Waddell. Simpkin at dummy half. Right-hand side, Fogarty, short ball, Olakau'atu, but he can't get away through. There's 6 or 7 Newcastle players there that mean Olakau'atu will be held on the last, and the Knights will get to play the ball inside their own 10 metres. Not a bad outcome for Manly, really, because they can try to keep Newcastle down here again as Marju finds his way just over the 10-metre line. Manly 30, Newcastle 18. 26 minutes to go here at Hunter Stadium.
Yeah, it was a really good defensive set by the Knights, probably the best of this half. Can they back it up with some good yardage coming out of their own territory, but Manly flying forward with great line speed.
Yeah, that was Lehigh Hopewadi quickly off the line and smashed Dom Young. Young got up and went again, but he couldn't make it too far, and he takes the tackle 21 away from his own goal line. One off the ruck left-hand side, Jermaine McEwen. McEwen's 27 away from his goal line. Crossland is at dummy half. Left for Trey Mooney. On it goes for Lachlan Crouch. The pass out the back bounces into the hands of Kalen Ponga, but then he's tackled pretty quickly there. That was a good tackle from the Sea Eagles as well, and Olakau'atu, as Smith has to kick from inside his own 30 on the last. Not a great kick either, because Hopewadi takes it on the full on his own 30-metre line, and Manly will start this set through Lehigh Hopewadi, only 4 short of the halfway line. Fa'alolo dummy half, gets it away to Tom Trbojevic. He's inside Newcastle territory, gets a couple of post-contact metres as well, and he's 8 inside the Knights half. Plays the ball, Fa'alolo at dummy half. Here comes Caleb Navale, takes the tackle 35 away from Newcastle's line. 25 minutes to go. Manly leading 30 points to 18. Right-hand side, Fogarty. Back on the inside, Waddell. Corey Waddell is tackled 28 away from Newcastle's line in centre field. Slow to get up because it was on his back. He gets up now, and Simpkin out of dummy half. Shapes left, goes right. Fogarty, Olakau'atu. Grubbering is Olakau'atu, but they can't get the way through, and Pollinger gets there first. Kalen wraps it up 1.5 metres away from his own line, and Newcastle fans wanted 6 again, but absolutely nothing doing there. So the Knights on play 2 and 9 metres away from their own goal line, Matthew, trailing 30 points to 18.
Yeah, and again, the Knights pushing off the back fence yet again. Great carry there by Saifidi. Gets a quick play the ball, followed by Brent Best, and they're getting up the field a little bit better this set.
Yep. Bradman 15 away from halfway. Crosslands at first receiver now. Gets it away to Smith. Dummies. Takes the tackle of Ben Trbojevic, who's been everywhere. Get up and play the ball, Sandon Smith 14 short of halfway. As Kalen Ponga kicks from inside 40. Turbo has to get across there. Oh, he flick passes to himself, but he had to because he was sliding towards the touchline. Then he had time to get up, turn around and pick the ball up. What about that from Tom Trbojevic as they go from left to right, and Jason Saab is tackled 30 away from his own line, and now Ruben Garrick tries to find a way through, gets the pass away to Saab again, and Saab will take 2 tackles in succession, 10 short of Newcastle's line. We'll get to Bridget Murphy in a moment, but Manly really rolling on here. That was beautiful from Tom Trbojevic as he took the catch, slid in knees first towards the touchline, flick past it to himself, got up, turned around, landed on it, and now Manly are 10 metres inside Newcastle's territory with a penalty for a high tackle. Newcastle are really, really on the back foot here. Manly with the penalty, 10 inside Knights territory. Touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Yeah, man, the Newcastle Knights are just looking absolutely rattled out there. But Tom Trbojevic, chalk and cheese to what he looked like in the first half. We saw that he was quite cautious around the ball. Of course, a few injury concerns there, but he's looking fantastic. He actually, just as before the second half got underway, he actually came up to the media group getting the coach's notes and goes, guys, I'm fine. So, yeah, Tom Trbojevic wanting everyone to know that he's all good.
I did see that he was huddled in with the media and the assistant coaches at half-time. Hamole Olakau'atu now has the ball for Manly, 20 away from the line. G'day to Glenn in the Philippines, who says, thanks for the call. It feels like I'm there. Thank you. Appreciate that. 04 0467 920 222. Simpkin dummy half, left-hand side, Wakeham. And then he continues on for Corey Waddell. 12 away from Newcastle's line. 22 and a half minutes to go. Manly out by 30 points to 18. Here's Fogarty to the line. Tom Trebojevic dummies, goes himself, can't find the line. He's only 1.5 metres away. He'll get up slowly and play the ball for Garrick at dummy half. They come back left-hand side, Fogarty. Here's Simpkin. On it goes now to Wakeham. Dummies, then gets it away to Faololo. And Faololo will play the ball on tackle 1. Newcastle giving away 6 again inside the 10. Simpkin dummy half. Right-hand side, Wakeham. Navale, good strong run. 6 away from the line, centre field. Simpkin waiting for it at dummy half. Dummies goes himself. Only 2.5 metres short, right underneath the sticks at the northern end. So Wakeham's waiting at dummy half. He'll come back left. Here's Faololo out the back bend. Trebojevic takes the tackle of Fletcher Hunt. 9 in from Newcastle's line and only 4 in from the Western touchline. 22 to go. Manly up by 12. Faololo first receiver. Passes on the bounce to Fogarty. Here's Olakau'atu. They're a bit narrow. It doesn't matter. I thought Manly might have stuffed that, but Ruben Garrick does beautifully. Both Garrick and Hopewadi got tight and close to the ball on that right wing, and Newcastle's defence didn't really know how to react to it. Ruben Garrick goes through a yawning hole and scores a try. The Knights are capitulating. Manly are having a party. They lead 34-18 with a kick to come and 21 and a half to go.
Well, they shift right off the left-hand touchline. It goes across. What about Olakau'atu here? We talk about ball-playing back rowers. You shouldn't have that skill set. We saw the Bradman Best and just wedging out, coming out of the line, and Olakau'atu just plays short there to Ruben Garrick. What a beautiful play. He goes over untouched. Manly, they're going to be hard to run down now, Glenn.
Oh, he is super important for this Manly side. Hamole Olakau'atu, he can do everything. The edge back row is a game that they're having on both the left and the right. Ben Trebojevic and Hamole Olakau'atu. Let's get down to the touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Yeah, we're just seeing Justin Holbrook, the Knights coach, up on the big screen, and he did not look happy at all about that. You could see right at the end there that Bradman Best just looked like he wasn't even going to try to contest, to even make an attempt to stop that. He slows right down as they cross over. So really unfortunate defence from the Knights.
KP and Andrew listening in Romania, loving the broadcast online. Thank you, boys in Romania. I've got listeners in Mongolia, Romania. They're everywhere this afternoon. The Philippines as well. 0467 920 222. Thank you for your text messages. Appreciate it. And thanks to the Cal Dog. Hope you're having a blessed day up the bunnies. Here's Fogarty from 15 in from the Eastern touchline. Blotzy's copybook. He is 6 from 7 this afternoon now, Jamal Fogarty. And Manly leading 34 points to 18. There's still a quarter of this game to go. NRLW, the Raiders, 34 points to 0 over the Bulldogs. New South Wales Cup, North Sydney leading Newtown 20 points to 16. And Canberra in New South Wales Cup leading Parramatta 34-16. New South Wales Women's Premiership, Penrith 24, Illawarra 12. Queensland Cup first half. Dolphins are leading the Tweed Seagulls 6 points to 0. I think it's Tweed. If we can get the name of that Seagulls team up there, that'd be good. There's a few of them in Queensland. And Brisbane Tigers, it is Tweed Seagulls. Thank you, Jonesy. And the Tigers leading. Tigers and Bears locked at 0-0 early in that Queensland Cup game. We'll get to a few others in just a moment. The AFL first quarter, Western Bulldogs 18, Melbourne 2, and session 3 on day 1 of the second test in Mackay. Australia 4 for 118. Steve Smith's just been dismissed for 42, an overall lead of 54 against Bangladesh. Manly 38 away from their own line. Here's Navale, good strong run towards halfway. 5 inside his own half. They go to the right-hand side. Fogarty gets it away to Olakau'atu. Great quick ball again from Olakau'atu to Garrick. Garrick comes back left. Dummies tries to find a way through. Almost does. Final play. They're 35 away from Newcastle's line. In complete control, you'd have to say. Faololo shapes to kick. Dummies goes himself. Takes the tackle on the last. I'm not sure that Faololo would do that again if he had his time again, but they do get the changeover. Newcastle 20 away from their own goal line, with Faololo just staying on the deck here as he's slow to get up and get to his feet. Bridget Murphy touchline.
Yeah, as he took that contact, he started grabbing at his lower back, and we're just watching him walk off. He's got a slight limp, but still clutching at that lower back, so we'll keep our eyes on the Manly 5'8".
He's going out to defend on that left edge as well, and fortuitously for him, Newcastle go back onto the inside. through Dom Young, and he'll play at 25 away from his line. 19 to go. Manly 34, Newcastle 18. Newcastle had the ball in the centre of the park through Cody Hopwood. Started this game in jumper number 15 today. He's back on the field for the last 18 minutes. They go to the right now here, Newcastle. Fletcher Hunt slips over and then he takes the tackle of Folletti, who tries to drag him, but the tackle was completed, so he has to stop what he's doing, and now they go back open side left. Crossland in the middle. Sharp, quick hands. Ponga even quicker to Best. Oh, Bradman's got open space on the left-hand side. Still going Bradman Best. Manly are coming across in cover. That pass was a mile forward. It's continued on. Maybe that's the square up from earlier in the game when Faololo scored off a forward pass. Newcastle 20 away from Manly's line. Jermaine McEwen draws the defenders, gets it away to Fletcher Hunt, who scores. 8 metres inside the western touchline. Fletcher Hunt goes over for the Newcastle Knights. Really good play from left to right. It was great stuff from McEwen to just draw the defenders and then throw the pass. Fletcher Hunt scores the try for Newcastle, his 10th of the season. Manly 34, Newcastle 22, kick to come, 18 to go.
Well, we may not have seen some of the best defensive play today, but wow, what are some of the attacking prowess on display. Bradman Best just splitting them open down their left-hand side, and as the ball comes back to the other side, who else do you want to get the ball other than Fletcher Hunt? He just, like, as soon as he identifies space, he's gone.
The way that Jermaine McEwen just held it up for a fraction of a second, allowed the defender to come in and created that space to Fletcher Hunt to score the try. 34-22, Newcastle can get this one back to within 10, touchline Bridget Murphy.
Sorry, I'm not even paying attention to what's going on because 6-year-old me is thrilled. The horse is back out after that try down the in front of the Andrew John stand. It's really taken me back. But a fantastic effort there. There was, though, in the lead up to that try, some concern. Kalen Ponga was stuck in back play. He was kind of on a late contact there and stayed back with the trainer. He looks okay now, and I kind of signalled to the trainer and they said, yep, all good. So keeping the eyes on the Newcastle skipper, though.
Sandon Smith adds the extras from 8 in from the western touchline. It's a 10-point ball game. Newcastle and the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles on NRL Saturday here on ABC Sport. Fletcher Hunt with a double for the Knights. 0467 920 222. Dave says, damn, it's cold in Antarctica. Thank you, Dave. Listening from home, Jim in Narrabeen. Thank you very much for that one. 0467 920 222. NRLW Canberra 44 leading the Bulldogs nil. I wonder if Dennis has got his well, no, not yet. I thought you were going to show me your underpants then. No, your bet with your Bulldogs friend who listens on the text line, the Chin. I wonder if you'll get him in a Canberra jersey this week, Dennis. 0467 920 222. 44-0 second half New South Wales Cup and second half New South Wales Women's Premiership. Penrith 34, Illawarra 24 in the Queensland Cup first half. Redcliffe 6, Tweed 0, and it's 6-all between the Brisbane Tigers and the Burleigh Bears. Newcastle had the ball after scoring their first try of the second half, 21 metres away from their own goal line. They have it now 29 away centre field, 16 and a half to go. Mooney gets up and plays it for Crossland. Back in at dummy half, spreading it right now. Sandon Smith to Hunt again. Dummies goes through the line. Pass back on the inside to McEwen. Good one-on-one tackle, Tom Trebojevic to catch Jermaine McEwen. 33 away from Manly's line. Crossland at dummy half. Left for Sandon Smith. Matt Croker. Here it goes to Sharp and Ponga. They're spreading it now. Left for Bradman Best. Best still going. Gets past Garrick. Tries to get the pass away. It's picked up by Thomas Cant. Still going Newcastle. A pass to Sandon Smith. On it goes to Cody Hopwood. What a tackle. Jake Trebojevic close to the line on the last. Ball and all puts Cody Hopwood down. Right-hand side, the pass is out the back. Fletcher Hunt has to go back and collect it and then grub it through to Clayton Faololo, and Manly are going to get a penalty here because Jermaine McEwen was in front of Fletcher Hunt, who had to go behind himself to put the kick through. McEwen affects the tackle, and the Sea Eagles will get the penalty 9 away from their own goal line. Faololo is still in a bit of trouble here. He had that back problem earlier, and he stayed on the deck here again with 15 minutes to go. Manly 34, Newcastle 24.
Yeah, the Newcastle fans are just a little upset with some of the late contact that was seen here earlier in the play. But I've got to say, great scrambling defence by the Manly Seagulls. There's no doubt about that. Oh, that's close to a lifting tackle as well. I've seen those penalised.
Yeah, it was the tackle that Jake Trbojevic effected right in front of the post, and Failolo came underneath and lifted as the player went through. And we're going to continue play on here. I mean, the match review committee might have a look at it during the week, but nothing on report at this stage.
Just want to reinforce, there's been some defensive inadequacies today, but what about some of the attack we've seen? Just brilliant to watch.
It's been really expansive, hasn't it? Both teams have been happy to throw the ball around. Lehigh Hopewadi has it now for Manly, 30 away from the line, and Jake will go only one way that he knows, and that's straight and hard. Trbojevic, 33 away from his own line. Plays the ball, Simpkin. The Knights fans getting behind him again. Here's Fogarty, shows, then goes to Tom Trbojevic. Here's Ruben Garrick. Manly throwing it from left to right again. Garrick right on halfway. 10 in from the eastern touchline. Olakau'atu, straightening run here. 8 metres inside Knights territory. 14 and a half to go. Manly 34, Newcastle 24. Left-hand side, they have it through Wakeham. Failolo dummies, then gets it away to Tom Trbojevic. Offloads one-handed. Wakeham through the middle. Here's Nathan Brown. On it goes now for Fogarty. Fogarty through the middle. Gets an offload away as well. And White Raymond is going to say simultaneous. So Jamal Fogarty will have to come back and play the ball there because the offload was at the same time that White Raymond called held. Fogarty will play the ball 16 away from the line for Manly. Failolo kicking on the last towards the corner of Dom Young. Bounces horribly for Newcastle, and Fletcher Hunt has to bat it over the dead ball line. Once again, Dom Young's letting that bounce in the end goal. He could have got a 20-metre restart. In the end, it's a goal line dropout because the bounce favoured Manly. Fletcher Hunt had to knock it over the dead ball line. Manly 34, Newcastle 24, 13 and a half to go.
It's an oblong, so the ball will bounce backwards. Just dive and catch the ball. It was an easy catch.
For a 20-metre restart. Like, what is he thinking? Touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Yeah, that's pretty poor from Dominic Young, especially as that senior edge player out on this side of the field.
24-5-3-7 here in the Hunter this afternoon. I think that might be just about the full house signs up. Here's Lehigh Hopewadi, 10 away from his own goal line in centre field. He'll get up slowly and play the ball. And Simpkin comes left for Failolo, changing direction for Ben Trbojevic. And Ben Trbojevic is held pretty much in the same position as Hopewadi was a play earlier. Simpkin, right-hand side, he goes for Wakeham, through the hands of Fogarty and also Olakau'atu for Tom Trbojevic. The crowd back left. That's touched by Newcastle. Might have been knocked on by Ben Trbojevic here. It's going to be knocked on eventually by Failolo. He's clutching his back again. It's knocked on by Fletcher Hunt, and Manly will get the scrum feed 10 away from their own goal line, and Failolo is still struggling with that back injury, Bridget Murphy touchline.
Yeah, he's clutching at the kind of the right side at the top of his hip. Not too sure if he's maybe jarred it in an awkward contact. We did see that a couple of sets ago. So I'll ask head over to the Manly trainers, but he is getting back into the scrum. We'll see what happens here.
Mark is listening in happy disbelief from Mystery Bay. Obviously a Manly fan. This texter, come on Newcastle, pull it together. Love the commentary. Listening from Svalbard. Appreciate your text, Julianne. Manly win the scrum. They go to the right-hand side, and they're tackled 8 metres away from the goal line through Tom Trbojevic. Plays it for Simpkin. Left-hand side for Fogarty. On it goes for Nathan Brown. Now Failolo dummies, and then he's hit in a strong tackle by McEwen, and once again slammed on his back. So that one's not going to help Failolo out either. Slow to get to his feet. They might have to take him off with 11:50 to go. He's really struggling. Nathan Brown has the tackle 7 away from Newcastle's line. 34-24. Simpkin dummy half. Right-hand side Wakeham. Gets it away to Fogarty. Back on the inside for Garrick. Garrick tries to get away from Trey Mooney, but he holds onto him with some support. And Manly will take the tackle 15 away from the line through Garrick. Plays the ball for Simpkin. Left-hand side for Brown. Short ball Wakeham. Flat from Brown to Wakeham. Final play. Wakeham takes the tackle 8 away from the line. Simpkin dummy half right. Fogarty will kick towards Jason Saab's corner. Saab flies high. What a take from Jason Saab. But does he lose the ball? The referee is saying no, he doesn't. It's a try. Jason Saab, that is outstanding. He flies 10 feet in the air, catches it cleanly, lands on the ground and scores the try. No Newcastle player had a chance with how high Jason Saab flew there. 38-24, kick to come, 11 to go.
Yeah, well, you can say a lot about the weight of the kick, everything else, but that just put that purely down to Jason Saab. There's no doubt Fogarty puts it right on the money, but wow, what about that for a lead? And I'll tell you what, there's someone I know that'll be saying games and sets and...
I won't be saying that.
And I don't know, what is it? What's the other game you played?
I can't remember. Touchline Bridget Murphy to get me out of this one.
No, I can't remember either. Sorry, boys. Just watching though, the Manly trainer has just given the thumbs up for their 5'8" Clayton Falolo. So they did have a chat after that try was scored. It seems that he's going to be powering on, even though he looks like he's in a world of pain.
And when you say take nothing away from the kick, Matthew, it was a beautifully weighted kick from Jamal Fogarty.
Oh, it was perfect, mate. Did you see how high he got in the air there?
He's got a ladder out there, I think, to climb above Greg Marju. That is an outstanding take from Jason Saab. It is just about all she wrote. Manly 38, Newcastle 24, less than 10 to go.
Did you say the lotto word? Because everyone's leaving. Look.
Well, if they want to put their numbers in a row and shout out whatever they want to shout out down at the hall, then that's up to them. As Fogarty from the touchline waved away across the face. So he's missed his last two. He's 6 from 8 this afternoon. 0467920222. Tom from Lutwich, as discussed previously, football isn't an oblong, it's an ovoid. An oblong is a rectangle or square. You'd reckon a former teacher would know this, Matthew.
Well, I'm not going to argue the point. It's my definition.
Yes.
Of a plastic ball called an oblong.
I don't think it's plastic. I think it's sort of some sort of PVC or I don't think it's canvas. I'm not sure.
Feels canvassy.
I don't think canvas would work as a rugby league ball. I think it's a bit too porous to hold air. Anyway, we're going into scientific territory here, and Lehigh Hopewadi takes the catch 30 away from his own goal line, and he will be tackled about 38 away from his own goal line in centre field. They're certainly not leather anymore like they used to be in your day, Matthew. Right-hand side. Well, I remember them when I was a child as well. It's not that long ago, Matt. I remember you playing with the PVC balls with the torpedoes in 92, 93.
They were plastic.
Were they? Yeah. Early stage PVC ones. Okay.
So were the
Torps. Left-hand side, one off the ruck. Here goes Nathan Brown. 37 away from Newcastle's line. 9 minutes to go. Simpkin dummy half. Right-hand side he goes for Fogarty, and Fogarty's 31 away on the final play. Gets up and plays it for Simpkin. Short right-hand side he goes for Wakem. Running on the way through is Tom Trebojevic, but it's a good take from Ponga. Two of the best fullbacks in the world went up for that one, and Ponga gets one over Tom there. Takes the tackle centimetres away from his own goal line. Here's Marju. 5 Manly players bundle him to the floor, only 2 away from the goal line. Gets up, plays it. They come out of their own area. They're still only 7 away from the goal line, Newcastle. It's already play 3, and now trying to find a way through is Lockie Crouch. Takes the tackle 15 away from his line. Scooting out of dummy half is Harrison Graham. It goes to Croker, then Sandon Smith. Ponga loses the ball under pressure from Hopewadi, who's going to race away and put his hand on the ball in the in goal, and I'm going to say score a try. They might just have a look at the contact.
On-field ruling, we've got no try coming into tackle 0. Just confirm it's not just his head. Wait, knock on by Newcastle first?
Yeah, it'll be a Kalen Ponga knock on first, but they're going to have a look to see if this came off Lehigh Hopewadi's head or his hand as he runs through here. Matthew, let's have a look at this one.
Aspects of play up until this
Certainly
point.
a knock on from Kalen.
I'm saying it's a try.
Oh, I thought so too.
Because it hits him square in the melon.
No, just making sure it only comes off Lehigh's head.
That is what they call a falcon.
Off the forehead of Lehigh. We're playing on at this
It goes
point.
nowhere near his hands. This is a try. Lehigh scored a header for Manly, but he's going to get 4 for it, not just 1. It sits up beautifully. He puts his hand on it in the in goal. It's a try.
We have a decision.
Manly leading 42-24 with a kick to come right in front of you, Bridget Murphy touchline.
Yeah, that just twists the dagger in for Newcastle fans here at Hunter Stadium. Definitely a try. It goes up in green on the big screen, and you can hear the protest from the fans behind us.
Well, the fans may not be happy, but they're certainly exiting, but I guess you create your own luck. And Lehigh Hopewadi was right there on the scene. Kalen Ponga knocks the ball forward, hits him straight in the prefrontal cortex, I'll say. in the forehead. Well, how about that? I just was trying to do the school teacher thing, that's all.
Well, we're getting plenty of texts regarding the shape of the football, you'll be pleased to know.
The oblong did sit up perfectly for Lehigh Hapawadi.
Phil from the Gong says it's oval-shaped. Yep, we'll agree with that one. Is Matthew thinking of an ellipse, says Paul. Listening from the moon. What shape is the moon? Tom, thank you. Appreciate your text message. As we know, it's the bladder that matters. Thank you very much for that one. 10 in from the Western touchline. With 7.5 to go, we're all getting a bit silly in round 25 of the NRL. It's been a long season. And this is another high-scoring game, isn't it? Almost 70 points, 66 points between these two sides. So, no, 76 points. Hang on, the scoreboard's having a bit of a doodah here. It's 66 points.
Just relax. There's another kick to come.
Well, they had Newcastle 34 and they've just taken 10 off Newcastle. Fogarty moves in and strikes this one. He makes no mistake, adds the extras, and it is Manly 44 leading Newcastle 24. So I try to find my chair with 6 minutes 57 to go. NRLW, the Raiders leading the Bulldogs 44-0. New South Wales Cup, North Sydney leading Newtown 30-28. Canberra 46 leading Parramatta 16. Women's Premiership, New South Wales Penrith 34, Illawarra 12. Queensland Cup, Dolphins 6, Tweed 0, and Brisbane Tigers 6, Burleigh 6. Queensland Women's Premiership second half, Devils 24, Jets 8. Sunshine Coast 28, Tweed 0, and first half Toowoomba 10, leading Mackay 6. In the crowd, Fletcher Hunt's got it from the kickoff for Newcastle. The short kick, he's taken it 15 away from the halfway line, and they'll get 6 again because Folletti was a bit too slow to get up. Matt Croker gets the ball away to Trey Mooney, and Mooney's tackled 22 away from the line. Australia 4 for 118, leading Bangladesh by 54 on day one of the second test. Left-hand side, Sharp gets the ball away to Hopwood. He was tackled late after he got the pass away, and Newcastle will get the penalty 20 away from Manly's goal line. Sharp stayed on the deck here. I think he was probably going to be okay, but he was certainly whacked after he got rid of the ball there, 20 away from the line. They're going to take the quick tap with 6 minutes to go after he got heavy contact there on the way through to Fletcher Sharp. So Newcastle start this set again. 15 away from Manly's line, centre field. Get up and play the ball through Hopwood. Right-hand side, Smith. Here's Ponga. Quickly out of the line was Folletti. Geez, he's been impressive, Josh Folletti. That's a really good tackle after 3 tries as well on Kalen Ponga getting up and playing the ball. Right-hand side, and they've lost us a forward pass there to Jermaine McEwen. Sloppy stuff from Newcastle. They want to get this out of their game as they head into the finals. Look at the high fives from Manly. The relief on this team after 6 straight losses. Tom Trbojevic is punching the air. He's that excited. They lead 44-24 with 5.5 to go, Matthew.
Yeah, well, the crowd are pretty disappointed with the home team here, albeit that they felt there was a couple of forward passes that may have been let go earlier in the day. But the other thing I want to acknowledge is, you know, this is an old boys' day, and showing up and putting in, we saw that Newcastle are a lot better than what we're witnessing here today, and they've got such a good lineup. They'll be very disappointed with this performance.
Good question here. What shape is Lehigh Hopewadi's head? Which could give us an insight into the shape of the ball. Thank you for the text message. Manly had the ball 23 away from the line. Left-hand side, they go to Ben Trbojevic. Up over the 30. Takes the tackle 20 in from the Western touchline. He'll get up and play the ball for Simpkin. Simpkin goes open side right for Nathan Brown, and Brown takes the tackle 10 short of the halfway line. The Manly front rower, who is heading off next season off contract, of course, playing his 50th game for Manly last week. He'll 200th in the NRL next week. It'll be a big game for Nathan Brown next week. Folletti's got the ball on halfway now. Brown through the hands, gets it away to Fogarty, and Fogarty is 8 inside Newcastle territory on the last. Simpkin waiting for it at dummy half. He goes short right-hand side where Tom Trbojevic is kicking to the touch line. It might have come off a Newcastle player, but it wasn't played at. And Newcastle are going to get the ball 30 away from their own goal line. 4 minutes to go. Manly 44, Newcastle 24, touchline Bridget Murphy.
Well, yeah, the crowd in the Andrew Johns stand on the eastern edge is really starting to thin out here. The hills are starting to thin out. I think that's a pretty big assessment of what the fans have made of this game for Newcastle.
Good news for the car park, at least here in Newcastle, as they play the ball. The Knights 13 short of halfway. Oh, Sharp is absolutely whacked by Olakawatu. Homole says, I've got you, Sharpie. And he puts him on the deck. Left-hand side, Newcastle go. Full credit to Fletcher. He got back on his feet. Cant plays the ball 8 short of halfway. Through the hands of Croker. Right-hand side, Sand and Smith. Here's Fletcher Hunt. Now Dom Young kicking. He's been taken out by Tom Trbojevic, who's going to have to go to the bin. This will be a Newcastle penalty. And Tom Trbojevic will certainly have to end this game off the field. Newcastle get the penalty 23 away from their Manly goal line with 3 to go.
Well, Tom, I think he's almost surrendered to the sin bin. He's got himself, he's going to sneak back on.
He was halfway up the tunnel there, Tom Trbojevic, and he's come back on the field now. 3 to go, Manly 44, Newcastle 24, and it looks like that's all it's going to be.
Wow, that was extremely late contact. It wasn't vicious contact, but I'm absolutely flabbergasted by that non-call.
Dom Young is one of the fastest players in the world. He put a kick through. I'm not saying he would have scored a try, but Tom Trbojevic has come over 3 minutes late and put him into touch, and he stayed on the field. 2 minutes 50 to go. Manly 44, Newcastle 24. The Knights get 6 again. They play the ball. They go to the right-hand side. Jermaine McEwen running out of space, so he goes back left. Hopwood has it, gets it away to Croker. Goes through the middle, and Matt Croker takes the tackle 12 away from the line centre field. Graham dummy half, coming back right. Trey Mooney gets it away to Sandon Smith. The pass out the back is knocked down by Lehigh Hopewadi. He's waiting for Newcastle to pick it up. He's just trying to waste some time there. Now he does pick the ball up. Newcastle get a scrum feed 20 away from Manly's goal line with 2 minutes, 20 seconds left, Matthew Elliott.
Well, Lehigh Hopewadi sticks his hand out. If he could have knocked that up slightly, you know what the result would have been. I would have loved to seen someone trying to chase him down because he would have been in the clear. But the Knights get a scrum in the middle of the field, 15 metres out. Can they get across the stripe for the fans that have hung in here to the very end?
I'll tell you what, the Knights would have needed the horse to come out and try to chase Lehigh Hopewadi down there because it would have been the only one with any chance of getting to him. Bradman Best, 10 away from Manly's line. 1 minute 50 to go. He'll get up and play the ball. They'll come open side right. Fletcher sharp. They've got another set here. Sandon Smith, ball over the top to Dom Young. The touch judge could have scored there because it's pretty much gone almost into the touchies breadbasket. Straight over the touch line. Manly will get a scrum feed 25 away from their own goal line. In fact, it'll be a changeover because it's been passed into touch. And there's 1 minute 30 to go, and Manly are happy just to slow things down here. They're pretending that they don't really know what's going on, and they're happy to take as much time as they can to see this clock wind down 44-24. And Tom Trbojevic does get an early mark. He's on the bench. Now let's go down to the touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Yeah, I was waiting to see if they would take Tom Trbojevic off just to preserve his health, because while he's been spectacular in the second half, of course, in the first half he did have a few concerns, so he's getting a bit of a rest up earlier than expected.
Canberra 44, Bulldogs 0 in NRLW. Of course, next we're off to Stadium Australia. South Sydney up against the Warriors with Andrew Moore, Luke Lewis and Michael Carianis here on NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. And then later on this evening, the Dragons taking on the Bulldogs at the Footy Stadium with Brett Sprigg, Dean Hallertau and Kiana Takarangi on the call tonight. So 3 big games here on NRL Saturday. Manly had the ball with 35 seconds to go. Ben Trbojevic takes another carry here. He's been really impressive this afternoon, and he will take the tackle 9 inside Newcastle territory. Now he's asking the referee where the mark is because he just wants to waste another few seconds. And Nathan Brown takes the hit up into Newcastle traffic 33 away from the Knights line. Getting up and playing the ball slowly for Jake Simpson. He's asking the referee questions again. 13 seconds to go. Final play. So Fogarty will go to the skies. One final play if Newcastle can hold on to it through Marju. They do. And Marju gets the flick pass to Ponga, who has to go back into the in goal. Then he takes the surrender tackle as the siren sounds at Hunter Stadium. Newcastle's 3-match winning streak is over, and so is Manly's 6-game losing streak. The Sea Eagles, I think they came into this round with a 4% chance of making the finals. So you're saying there's a chance. They've won by 44 points to 24. We will have time, Bridge, for maybe 1 or 2 interviews. We've got 9 minutes before we head off to Stadium Australia. But Matthew, that was one of those games almost between two teams who couldn't make the 8. I know Newcastle will be in the finals, tackles, but there's a lot of ball thrown around and not too much in the way of defence.
Well, as soon as Newcastle got in front, well, they up 18-6, they took the foot off the accelerator. You could see that was plain to see. Justin Holbrook will be very disappointed. He's not disappointed in the ability of his team, but the mentality of his team and the mindset today. That's why they didn't compete for this game. That's why they conceded so many points today.
Yeah, the Dom Young sin binning had a huge part to play in this game. Bridget is just about, we'll go down to Bridge now.
Yes, I'm here with Ben Trbojevic from Manly. Well, how's that feel? Snap that little mini losing streak. Must feel pretty good.
Yeah, obviously, we've been under the pump the last month and a half, and 6 losses in a row. It's not our standard, and we knew we had to come out here and perform, and Newcastle is such a quality side, and I think we really showed fight today and got the win.
We were saying on the call that at moments it felt like you should have been out there playing halfback, getting kicks in and things like that. Did it feel like you were kind of playing a bit more of a fluid game?
Yeah, I just backed myself. Obviously, I've been out for a few weeks with concussion, which has been disappointing, but I just wanted to get back and play my footy, and I felt like I did that today, and I'm just really happy with the win.
The brother back as well at fullback. What can you say about his return? Of course, he seemed a bit ginger in that first half, but got the swing in the second half.
Yeah, we're a better team when he's at fullback, and he had a quality return. Obviously, he's been disappointed with injuries, but I've never seen a player work so hard, and I'm really proud of him. I'm just happy we won.
And going into finals, of course, trying to push into that finals group, this victory must give you a bit of a sigh of relief in terms of getting a little bit closer.
Yeah, obviously, we're just focusing 1 week at a time. Obviously, we've had a disappointing month and a half, and we'll just keep playing footy. We just want to win and finish the year off well, and if we make finals, we make it, but we just want to finish our year strong.
Well, enjoy the win. Thanks for talking to ABC Sport.
Thank you. Thanks, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Bridge. Thanks, Ben Trbojevic. Probably time for one more as we're waiting for Bridge. Let's go through our ABC player. Maybe not just yet. Manly.
Best from the Newcastle Knights. Well, Brady, obviously not the result you would have wanted on Old Boys Day. A lot to reflect on from that game.
Yeah, disappointing. It was a massive day for the club. I thought our first 20 was good. We had them on the ropes there and just ill discipline. And then obviously when Dommy went off, we weren't strong enough. Obviously when that happens, we need to dig deep and we let ourselves down there.
Fletcher Hunt, there's a lot of pressure on him at the moment, of course, covering for Dane Gagai, and then also to lose Dom Young as well. It seems to be a lot of pressure on him. What can you say about how he's responded to all that pressure that's on him?
Yeah, obviously he's got a big role, but when he stepped up, he's been killing it. Obviously today, Dommy went down and he's working extra hard. I thought he handled it really well. He scored 2 tries today, credit to him.
There were goals for the top 4. That's obviously very hard now, losing this one. How do you think you guys will approach this next round, which will be your last game before the bye?
Yeah, we need to go back to the drawing board, connect up as a team, obviously review that game, see where we went wrong. It's an easy fix. I think, Warriors, they're going to be a hard team over there, obviously, and for us, it's just about getting our prep right, getting our mindset right, and we'll be right.
Well, onward and upward. Thanks for talking to ABC Sport.
No worries, thank you.
Thanks, Bridge, and thanks to Bradman Best as well. Bridge, well done. You are dismissed. You can make your way back up into the commentary. I was going to say into the warm, but it's quite a nice afternoon in Newcastle. Matthew Elliott, your ABC Player of the Year points.
I'll go from 1 to 3. So Tom Trbojevic in his return game, he ran 154 metres, comes up with 2 try assists, but his second half, I wouldn't have given him a point for his first half, but his second half, you could just see the confidence grow, and he had a major impact on the result there and how convincing their win was. 2 points, you can't score a hat-trick wearing number 18. You come off the bench wearing number 18 and you score a hat-trick. So Josh Folletti, he gets my 3 points. You just can't ignore that. Sorry, 2 points.
I was going to say.
2 points. Yeah, he's got 3 tries.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
And 3 points to Ben Trbojevic. I just thought, you look at his numbers statistically and they're not amazing, but his performance was amazing. Break runs, tries, putting tries on. His defensive play was unreal. He didn't leak one defensive miss. I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah, his impact in the game. Every time he touched the ball, he came up with something. He was really impressive, wasn't he, Ben Trebojevic? And you're right with Turbo. Bridget touched on it after half-time as well. He picked up maybe a little ankle injury in the first half, of course, coming back from the hamstring. But second half, he was a completely different player. It was a really Tom Trebojevic of old performance in that second half.
Yeah, and I'm not acknowledging his first half. He got in a dummy half and put a try on with a beautiful pass. You know, you could just see his confidence grow in that second half, and that made a massive difference.
Thank you to Riverina Rooster winners in Group 9, Tamora, Wagga Kangaroos and Junee Diesels. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, 3 of the 4 away teams have won thus far this weekend, says Ross in Brisbane. Thank you very much. 0467 920 222. Around the grounds, NRLW, Canberra 48, leading Canterbury 4. In New South Wales Cup, there's been wins for Newtown and Canberra, and a win in the New South Wales Women's Premiership for Penrith. In Queensland Cup, half-time, Redcliffe leading Tweed 12-8. First half, Burleigh leading Brisbane Tigers 12-10. In the Queensland Women's Premiership, the Devils leading the Jets 24-8. Sunshine Coast 40 leading Tweed 0. And first half, Toowoomba 14 leading Mackay 6. Second quarter in the AFL, Western Bulldogs leading Melbourne 34-21. And in the cricket, Australia 7 for 146 late in that third session on day one, with an 82-run lead over Bangladesh, who were dismissed for 64. Here at Hunter Stadium, the Newcastle Knights ran out to an 18 points to 6 lead after Manly scored the first try through Clayton Farlolo. Fletcher Hunt, Greg Marju and Dom Young all scored in 13 minutes. But then we saw Caleb Navale score and Dom Young go to the sin bin, and Manly 3 tries in 8 minutes before half-time gave them a 24 points to 18 lead at half-time. Second half, it was pretty much one-way traffic with the Seagulls. Josh Folletti ended up with a hat-trick either side of half-time. Ruben Garrick, Jason Saab and Lehigh Hopewadi all scoring. Fletcher Hunt, the only try of the second half for Newcastle. Manly kicking 6 from 8 through Jamal Fogarty. Sandon Smith 4 from 5 for Newcastle. Dom Young ended up in the sin bin, one of 3 Newcastle players on report alongside Jermaine McEwen and Tyson Frizzell. Brandon Wakem was on report for the Manly Warringah Seagulls in front of 24,537. Matthew Elliott, some final thoughts.
I would like to make one observation of a player I didn't recognise, and that was Caleb Navale.
Yep.
I thought he was by far the Manly's best middle, and you could see how badly missed he was. But the last thing I'd like to say, didn't we see some entertaining footy today? We could sit there and talk about what players did wrong and their mindset, but we got a gift in just the execution of attacking play today.
Oh, it was just so much fun watching the ball get thrown around, both sides going from left to right to left again, and really entertaining. Unfortunately for the Newcastle fans, they were streaming out of Hunter Stadium early. They are still in 6th place on the competition ladder despite that 3-game winning run ending, and Manly mathematically a chance, but South Sydney have to lose all of their games on the run in, the Cowboys as well, and maybe even the Bulldogs slipping up for Manly to be any hope of making the finals. The Seagulls have St George Illawarra next week, but then they have to go to New Zealand to finish the season. So it's finished 44 points to 24 at Hunter Stadium. Thank you, Matthew Elliott.
It was an absolute pleasure, Glenn.
Thank you, Bridget Murphy on the sideline. Thank you to Dennis Carnahan for making the trip up the M1 here to Hunter Stadium, and thank you to Adam Jones in the studio as well. That's it from us at Hunter Stadium. Andrew Moore at Stadium Australia, it's all yours.
Glenn, Matthew and Bridget, thank you very much. Yeah, here for a big clash between South Sydney and the Warriors. We have the Rabbitohs warming up to our right in the shadows down at the southern end of the ground, and a big game against the third place Warriors. Team news is through. No changes to the Rabbitohs, and watch out for the King. Alex Johnston, 18 tries in his last 12 games at this venue. The only change comes for the Warriors. Setter Ali Leotau goes back to the bench. Adam Pompey to start in jersey number 18, and replacing Morgan Gannon on the Warriors bench will be Jet Cleary in jersey 21. And the 5'8" for the Warriors, bearing in mind the injuries to the likes of Tanner Boyd and Marty Martin and now Luke Metcalf, it's Luke Hanson, 22 years of age, second game. He's a Sydney boy. He's a Glenmore Park junior, and he'll be at 5'8". in the halves alongside Chanel Harris-Tavita. Referee Todd Smith with Grant Atkins in the bunker. Crowd is starting to build. There'll be 10 or 12,000 in the house. And at 7:30 tonight, we've got St George Illawarra playing Canterbury Bankstown at the Sydney Football Stadium. Referee there will be Liam Kennedy with Chris Butler in the bunker. Luke Lewis is sitting alongside me as always. Louie, good afternoon to you. We're long-awaited game, this one. We've been looking forward to this all week.
That absolutely felt like it's been waiting for a while now, but what a great win earlier there from Manly up there in Newcastle. Yes. So well done to the Manly side and their fans. But you're looking forward to this one. I just hope they turn the lights on sooner rather than later, because it looks very dark out there at the moment. And now while the South Sydney Rabbitohs are warming up, but it should be a good game of footy. South are looking to continue getting their wins and trying to fight for that top 8, make sure they stay up there, which I think they will now. But you want to make sure you win at every game going into the back end of the season. Obviously the Warriors, they've been, for me, the team to beat. They've been unbelievable to watch. I can't wait to watch them in real life, but they are going to miss obviously their half. But Luke Hanson gets an opportunity to step up, so I can't wait to see how he's going to go this afternoon.
Incidentally, in this between game show with kick-off not till 5:30, we're going to speak to an absolute legend of rugby league, Penrith's great Royce Simmons, who's been fighting dementia over the last 5-6 years now, and Royce's big walk is on again, and it starts on Monday, so we'll get the details from Royce very, very shortly. Michael Carianis from the Daily and Sunday Telegraph is here. He'll be on the touchline for the game. He's between Louie and I at the moment, and he's been very, very busy in the last hour or so. Unfortunately, didn't get much of a shout during halftime of the previous game. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Andrew. Hello, Louie. Yeah, looking forward to this game. You look at this Warriors side, and there's an expectation, there's a confidence about them, but you know, there are a few things that have gone against them. Obviously, chance they got Klukstad suspended, Luke Metcalf injured again, and then Ali Latia heard it was woke up sick this morning, so he's been ruled out of the game, so that's forced another reshuffle.
Well, he's on the bench though.
Yeah, but he went.
Okay, interesting move. I suppose you've only got so many people that you've flown across
that have travelled.
Yeah. But Adam Pompey, again, this has been a feature of them all year. They've got people to fill in everywhere. It's amazing.
Yeah, they've done an amazing job, and you just fear that eventually it may catch up to them. But no, I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Warriors win, but I'm giving South Sydney a definite chance of getting the job done.
I just feel like the Warriors have just got depth everywhere. They really do. Like, they've got so many great young kids coming through, and every time they do get an injury, someone comes in and steps up. And we talk about the next man up mentality. These guys epitomise that, so I can't wait to see how they're going to run out tonight. But I expect them to do some damage against the Bunnies tonight. I'm expecting a big win from them.
Yeah, I'm more like Michael. I think this is going to be a really good game of footy. At least I hope that's the case. MC, do you want to tell everyone what you've been doing in the last hour or so?
Yeah, just can we mention an AI company?
Yes.
Mail out, and just running through their thoughts of the ABC commentary team. And it's been highly amusing. If we had a longer show, I'd be reading them out. But
yes,
maybe
save that for the finals. Maybe we'll have a couple of long shifts there.
Yeah. Well, when we're on summer,
including when you and Louie are doing summer mid-dawns, you can go have at it. But when you asked this chat thing, AI, to rate the people who should replace me for a new regime,
yes,
you seated 5th.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed in that.
You're well down the list. That must have been disappointing. 0467 920 222 to send an SMS. And what about the cricket? Australia 8 for 148. And if you just tuned in thinking, oh, that's a shocking day, not as bad as you think, because Bangladesh was bowled out for 64. Mitchell Starc took 6 for 12. Didn't realise he'd be batting before stumps on day one, I'm sure, and he's already out. Matt Renshaw went for 8, Travis Head 22, Marnus Labuschagne 4, Steve Smith 42, Alex Carey 5, Bo Webster a first ball duck, Pat Cummins a second ball duck, and Mitchell Starc out for 1 now. 8 for 151. Cameron Green after 100 in Darwin is not out 45. Nathan Lyon on 2, Josh Hazelwood the only one to come, and Shariful Islam for Bangladesh, 10 overs, 6 for 34. the left arm orthodox spinner, Shariful Islam. Oh, no, that might have been Shariful Islam's left arm quick bowler. That's right, the 25-year-old with a 6-wicket haul, thus 6 for 34 off 10. You're with Luke Lewis, Michael Carianis. I'm Andrew Moore. Elsewhere around the grounds, we can update things for you. And the NRLW, Canberra, completed a 48-4 thrashing of Canterbury Bankstown. 48 points to 4 for the Canberra Raiders. That's a very handy win for them. Remember, they inflicted Brisbane's first loss of the season a few weeks ago, the Canberra Raiders, and they're one of the actual really good teams in the NRLW, and that win takes them to 10 points, and they're well poised inside the top 6, and Canterbury stay on 6 points, 2 points outside the top 8. Earlier, West Tigers 27 defeated Newcastle 26. Jersey flag today, St George Illawarra 46 defeated Canterbury Bankstown 16. South 40 over the Warriors 38. Parramatta 30 defeated Canberra 20. New South Wales Cup, Manly Warringah 40 beat Newcastle 12. Canterbury Bankstown thrashed St George Illawarra 40 points to 10. The Warriors 38 beat South Sydney 12. Newtown won the Frank Hyde Shield at Henson Park, coming from behind to defeat North Sydney 40 points to 30. While Canberra has thrashed Parramatta 50 to 22 in the New South Wales Women's Rugby League. It was a win for West over Mounties 14-12. South 32 beat St George 16. Central Coast Roosters 52 over Canterbury Bankstown 20. Penrith 34 beat Illawarra